What's up, sports fans? It's your man D back. Speak Your Mind Sports Talk. Check it out, man. It's boxing, the sport of boxing, moving full speed ahead into an iceberg, just like the Titanic. Basically, is boxing a sinking ship? That's what we're talking about today on Speak Your Mind Sports Talk Live Daily. What's up, everybody? We got diehard casuals first in the building. What's good with you, fam? Also, diehard casuals is first on the panel. Appreciate you coming through. My man Lewis Sports Network in the building. Salute to my man D the Godfather Jefferson. I hit the like and salute to the chat. Thank you, Lewis. Appreciate you. All my basketball fans, make sure you get over there to Lewis Sports Network and subscribe. Nick Harmon in the building. What's good with you, my man? Unbiased boxing talk in the building. What's good with you, fam? Appreciate you. Brian Harkin, what's up, my man? All right, so the link is in the chat at the top, guys. I'm gonna drop it in again. We already have my man Diehard Casuals on the panel. Oh shit. I put the wrong message up there. I sent that to somebody in the email. But anyway, what's up, diehard casuals? How you doing today, bro?
I'm good, my brother. Thank you for having me on, man. Just going to be a quick one. I just wanted to show love. I think it's a great discussion. And I just want to relate it a little bit to football in the UK. You guys call it soccer. We got some live. We got the season basically starting up again tonight. I don't know if you know about any soccer teams, Arsenal versus Man City, and there's going to be no fans there as well, so it's going to be interesting to see how the sport copes, and I'm dying to see how boxing copes, man. It's a great topic, man. Thanks for having me on.
Oh yeah, great. And yeah, I do watch. I actually watch a lot of sports, bro. I'm a sports fanatic, but just can't cover them all. You know what I mean?
Of course. I mean, it's going to be interesting. I mean, I'm sure a lot of fans just want to see some boxing. I definitely want to see some boxing with how everything's been, but I definitely understand where you're going. It can affect the sport. It can affect the sport badly with what's going on. Whether people still want to actually come out and take that risk, I don't know, man, but interesting times ahead.
Exactly. You right on point, bro. That's exactly what we're talking about today. So, with that being said, I'll put the right link back in the chat, guys. If anybody wants to come join the discussion today. Nick Harmer, what's up with you, man? Brian Hawkins, my man Samuel Wolf Shaw, he said, coming to support a real fucking channel, DJ, because a lot of these niggas get emotional suckers. That's right, dog. I appreciate that, Samuel. That's a fact, though. That's a true statement. It's a lot going on, and people are exposing themselves on a daily basis. One thing about it, everybody a part of the Speak Your Mind Sports Talk family know D. Jefferson do a whole lot of this.
And you show enough love, man.
Smiling. I got to smile, bro. A lot of smiling, because the thing is this, there's no need to be mad. We talking boxing, baby. Brian Hartman, what's up with you, fam?
How you doing, D? How's everyone in the chat?
How you doing, Brian?
How you doing? What's your name again?
Diehard Casuals, bro.
Diehard Casuals. Okay, how you doing, Diehard Casuals?
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay. Basically, all I wanted to say is the way things are now, can boxers really ask for the money that they want with no crowd?
Right.
With the way the economy is?
Right.
Can promoters ask for $99 pay-per-views, $80 pay-per-views, you know? Can they ask that anymore without giving us a great card?
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think they can. I don't think they can ask for that. I don't think they can ask for that money anymore without giving us a top of the range card all the way through.
I don't think so either. I agree with you, and that's why I wanted to have this discussion today. The Texan, what's up with you, fam? That's why at Boxing Virus, my man, get this smoke in the building. That's why I wanted to talk about this today, guys, because, you know, we do a lot of talking about the fights that's getting ready to happen, you know, this sanctioning body, blah, blah, blah. We had a lot of discussions, but the state of boxing is basically like this right now. It's floating. We don't know whether it's going to be successful in the return, or if, just like Brian just said, these boxers, look at Ryan Garcia's situation. Well, he's a kid, and he doesn't understand that the sport is in turmoil, and you can't be demanding all of this money. But the same thing with when you hear these promoters. Here's something that we hear in common, guys. Lisa Bales, Queen Lisa, what's up? This is something you hear in common. You hear Bob Arum, Eddie Hearn, no matter who, talk about fights and bigger fights, high profile fights, and they say, yeah, and so that's going to be established once we get the fans in there. Okay, we hear that at the end of all of these big fights, but here's the question: what if the governments of the world say, "Oh, hold on, we're going to extend this"? That means everything that y'all leading us up to believe is not going to happen. Number one, but number two, the card that Top Rank just put on, boxing ain't going to survive with those types of cards.
Exactly.
That's right.
It won't survive with those types of cards. So
right.
it's really interesting and what route this sport is going to take coming up here soon, man. They're going to have to make something happen. These boxers are going to either have to accept less money,
some sort of concession. Yeah,
something's going to have to happen, bro.
Has to be. I mean, it's interesting. Just quickly, guys. Because obviously before the lockdown and everything, we was looking forward to Dillian White versus Povetkin, and Eddie Hearn's still saying he wants these kind of matches to go ahead, but as Dee's saying, how is that going to sustain? I understand these boxers need to make a living at the same time, so I think there's just going to have to be some sort of concessions, and they're going to have to get together behind the scenes and work something out.
Right. And in the defense of the boxers, I'll let you go, Brian. I just wanted to say this. In the defense of the boxers, a lot of fans have to understand all of the lighting, the special effects, managers, trainers, all of these people getting paid, that comes out of the boxers' purses, man. So these boxers, he's getting $3 million for that fight. Oh, he's got to divvy that money up to a whole lot of people. So we have to understand and sympathize with the boxer situation that they still have to pay all of these people, but they got to take less money for getting in there and risking their lives. See, it's a clusterfuck at every angle.
Damn.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, I knew about that. All that came out of the boxer's purse. So, but can boxing be sustained right now? Is it a sustainable business? I don't know where we are. I don't know how the promoters are moving. I don't know how they're going to generate money from a general public. That, the only way they can generate money is if they put on the fights. If they put on the fights that everyone wants to see. That's the only way they can generate the money. They have to get some sort of interest back into the sport. And just not from, because I know a lot of people. And I know a lot of people who love boxing, but have fallen out of love with the sport over the last number of years with the way it's been rolling. It's just not now.
And the politics, absolutely. Yeah.
The politics, yeah. And there has to be some sort of direction. Boxing has to go in some sort of direction where everyone is on the same page. There has to be something done to bring the sport back to life. And
Brian, how you doing, brother? Good.
How you doing, Johnny boy? What's the cracks, man?
Good whiskey drinking. Good whiskey drinking last night. Good whiskey drinking. Compliments of Monkey Kung. Compliments of Monkey Kung Fu. Good man.
That's
good
what
man.
I like to hear, man. That's what I like to hear.
Yeah, oh my God.
Myself, so.
Yeah, Johnny boy, did you drink water?
I was on the Doc Holliday fucking drink last night. That was the same. That shit was so strong. That was the same fucking thing Al Swearingen was drinking on Deadwood over here. Holy God! But I used
to love that fucking show, Deadwood, man. I love that show.
Al Swearinger's one of my personal heroes.
I've been to Deadwood.
You know what the best is, because they don't like. You know what the best is on Deadwood. Not to change the subjects, but Who's this?
Yeah, that's a fact. Hey, Scott Brown, let's get back to the topic though, guys. Scott Brown said people paid for UFC 249, but that was a stacked card. No one watches or gambles on tune-up city with a 10-1 favorite. That's a fact. That's another thing. Like when you factor in, great comment, Scott Brown. That's another thing that could cause trouble because when you factor in the gambling, sports gambling is freaking huge, bro. Ain't nobody look 10-1 favorites. You don't win no money. You bet $1,000 to win 100. So even the gamblers in the aspect, because a lot of gamblers support boxing as well, because they want to watch the fight to see if they win. Well, if they ain't gambling on that fight, they gambling on another sport. So guess what they're doing? They're watching that sport.
Watching the other sport.
Yeah, they're not watching boxing. So that's a great comment, Scott, and it's relevant to what's going on. There's so many factors right now that boxing is in limbo. We don't know whether we're going to shoot back to the top or whether we're going to be like the Titanic. You understand? Like, we don't know where we stand right now. That's just my opinion on it.
That is facts, though. That is facts. As Brian said, they can't be charging top dollar for, tune-up fights and as you were saying, they just can't do it. So everyone has to take a concession. And where's that going to leave the sport? It's a really good topic. And to be honest, I'm bemused. I don't know how it's going to work. I really don't know how it's going to work. How you can't charge top dollar for mediocre cars. You just can't do it. And it's going to be interesting times, man, really.
Do you want to know the best thing about this, though? If they can get it on, there are fights out there that fans want to see.
Sure.
And pretty much every weight division. If they can get this done, if they can get an interest back in boxing again, because for me, boxing really hasn't been big since the era of Mike Tyson, Lennox Lewis, Evander Holyfield, and to me, a lot of people have lost interest in the sport, and I would love to see the sport back. In the 90s and the 80s, boxing was, when there was a big fight on, everybody sat down, everybody watched. Now it seems like he's fighting that guy. That guy's a nobody. He's going to win. I'm not really interested in that.
Right. Absolutely. I don't think anybody is. And real quick, everyone, and in the panel too. Today, I might be letting more people on than just 4 of us because I invited some special guests, and I don't know if they're going to show up or not, but if they do show up, y'all gonna know exactly who the special guest is. So if I let somebody in, I don't know what tag they are. But if y'all come in and y'all number 5, I'm gonna let you speak your piece, but I'm gonna have to put you back because I want to keep this at 4. It's for a reason anyway. But Dominic just stepped in the building. What's up, Dominic?
Hey, what's up, D?
What's going on? You got something you had something that you wanted to add? You had a thought that you wanted to add to this right quick? Okay, well, Dominic, back out. Dominic, you can come back and give your thought if you want to, bro. But I just want to. Dominic said, well, here's one of Dominic's thoughts. He says, "Strap season, everyone. Strap season." Well, I know what that means. They're right, Dominic.
Damn.
But look, here's something, guys. Here's an idea I want you guys to think about, and it's kind of piggybacking off of what Brian just said. Now, when we look at the prospects and we look at the lower classes, right? This could actually be an excellent chance to showcase those guys. You know how we always amazing fights, but we never expect it because these guys are not seen. Well,
that's right.
Bob Arum is actually a really good matchmaker and his team over there. So they could actually start showcasing these fights. And even though these guys are not known or big to us, the hardcore fans, when fans come over and say, "Oh, wow, that was a great fight." See, then they get interested in boxing. So that could be an upside to this thing if they decide to take that route. You see, if they just dick around with these major fighters and keep giving us false reports in limbo, that could cause trouble. But if in the meantime they say, you know what, let's go ahead and put on Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney. Let's go ahead and put on. You understand what I'm saying? Let's put on these lower weight fights, which you guys I know a lot of these lower weight fights are huge, but they don't get the television attention. This is a time that they could bring that forth. What you guys think about that?
That's brilliant, honestly, and good domestic fights as well. You know, like
Exactly.
it's good domestic fights. You know, there's a lot of people in the UK. They might have been kind of treading lightly or trying to follow a certain path, but you know, as a good consensus to get the boxing train going again, that's a great idea, man. That's a great idea.
What you think, Brian?
Absolutely. I love that. I love that because there's a lot of contenders right now. There's a lot of young guys coming through the sport right now, and it maybe be good to show off their talents and breed out who is the next top guys or the next top challengers, and beat out the weaker ones. You know,
Right.
Yeah, I think that I love that. Like if we can get like the young guys coming through, if we can get them challenging, maybe some of the guys going out of the game, maybe old champions, maybe, you know,
like to pass the torch. Yeah,
get some of these guys tested, see if they can pass that test. Absolutely, you know.
Yeah.
I saw a good fight last Thursday, Correa versus Angel Gomez.
I didn't see that. I'm about to check that out.
That was a lovely wee fight. I think there was over 2,000 punches thrown in rounds.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a good fight. That's a good fight there.
I'm going to check that out.
According to Mark, I know there was over 2,000 punches thrown. But no, I watched that live, and it was a very close, very good fight. Yeah.
That's all. Real quick, let me give some shout outs. Some people just stepped in the building. Carlos Mendoza, what's up with you, my man? Man, Iron Cone in the building. He says the same people that were involved in the big fights back then are the same people that have been killing the sport now. That is a great statement, Iron Cone. I do agree with that one. And AOBS is in the building. What's good with you, AOBS? Appreciate you coming through. Johnny Boy, what you think about that idea, bro? All right, Johnny Boy's probably out smoking the cigarette. But yeah, guys, you know, it's like I said, I was up last night racking my brain as if I'm sitting at the negotiation table. I'm sitting at the table with Bob and all of these guys, and I'm sitting back thinking, like, how can we figure this out, guys? Like, this is just how I'm thinking, right? And I was going over a lot of scenarios of what they could do. Of course, maybe if they watch my video, they'll take, but it's no way that I would be able to get them this message. But I had like a lot of ideas of what they could do to sustain just until we find out what they could do to sustain in a good way until we find out when they're going to loosen up these economies, when they're going to allow people to start coming around again. Because we can't, as boxing fans, just live on hopes and dreams, bro. Y'all got to give us something.
And as you said, there's a lot of things to consider. You know, a lot of people to consider. As you said, industries like the betting industry, a lot of things to consider. It's not an easy task, and you know, appreciation for bringing the topic up because it needs talking about, to be honest. And it's the first time, even today, when I saw the live come up in the title, I thought, you know what, that's not passed my mind at all in these past couple of months. And yeah, we need people to start thinking about it now and start thinking about it critically.
Here's another hurdle: travel.
Yeah,
that is, you know, like there's a 14-day quarantine coming into America. I think in the UK there's a 10-day quarantine or a 14-day. I'm not sure if it is.
I think it's still 14.
Is it still 14? Yeah, there's a 14-day quarantine coming in of an American fighter who comes to the UK, or you know, travel now is one of the big ones, and you know, that may hinder some fights going forward.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it's one of the biggest obstacles to the trip until these restrictions are limited, or you know, until these restrictions are gone. You know,
absolutely
hinder some fights or a lot of fights.
I'm gonna piggyback off of you again, Brian, because you just brought up another good point. Here in the U.S., nationwide, I'm not sure if a lot of people know, but certain states, there's a 7-day quarantine. It's going on in basketball. Y'all know I cover basketball too. So if you go from a certain state to a certain state, you have to be quarantined for 7 days there. And that's just within international boundaries. So that's a great point that Brian just brought up. And then you have the issue where, real quick, let me give some more shout outs. Iceman stepped in the building. What's good? My man Black and Brown Boxing in the building. Toby Barnett, what's up? Appreciate you guys. And Mangro in the building. And then when you think about the fact that certain countries, some have lifted bans and some haven't. So that's another factor. Like this government, Bob Arum, them, you know, the guys that are here, they can't determine when the other governments are going to lift those bans, which means those fighters will just still remain trapped in their country. There's so many factors in this, man.
Yeah, no, it's as a clusterfuck.
People motivated as well.
It certainly is, and it's so much to think about. Like I'm telling y'all, bro, I was doing film study last night for the Prediction League, but at the same time, I was thinking about this because I'm watching the fights and I'm looking at fans, and I'm like, well, what if they did this? What if they tried to work this in? You know what I mean? I was just going through a lot of scenarios, but just as diehard Casual said, like, this is something that hasn't really been talked about, you know, and that's what I try to do on the Speak Your Mind Sports Talk Live Daily, just so that we can talk about different things every day, but still stay within the sport. I try to bring up things that people haven't talked about, and I think that this is huge,
massive.
You know what I mean?
You know, I'm hearing a lot of problems, not a lot of solutions. I bet you the promoters are thinking the same thing, you know. All I see is problems, not a lot of fucking solutions.
But it's hard. I mean, you try and keep boxers motivated. You can't kind of guarantee dates. You know, you're just hanging on. Logistically, as you said, with the travel, there's so many things. There's so many obstacles. I mean, where do you start? You know.
There you go. See, we always got a character in the chat. Samuel say, D. Jeff, you don't do no damn film study. Yeah, man. I know that these promoters are really racking their brains, bro. I'm you know what I'm gonna start doing, guys, and everybody else can start doing it too, because they have come out and they said this, okay, and this is how I get some people on the show, because believe it or not, guys, I ain't been on YouTube too long, but y'all would be surprised at some of the people that I actually talk with behind the scenes. Like I've talked with quite a bit of people, some boxers, like, you know what I mean? So at any given time, they might pop up. I invited like 3 people today, but y'all know the sport is coming back, so they're busy, so there's no telling if they'll show up or not. Even still, with that being said, when it comes to it's two important factors here, like that can really solve a lot of our issues and give us light. Is I think the main thing that they need to do is the marquee fighters and the promoters and networks. I think these guys need to come to the table like as one big meeting, and they need to trade ideas to understand that, look,
like pay
for a period of time, we're going to have to pay less. Yeah. And if you guys are not going to accept this, then this is going to ruin the sport. But they all need to sit down and hear this, so that you don't have Charlos over here or like the Ryan Garcia, Ryan over here, and he's complaining because this kid over here is getting this much money. They have to understand as fighters that certain networks, wherever you're placed at, may be able to afford more than another network. Right, so like the Zone may be able to shell out more money. So Ryan, you can't be getting upset because Golden Boy doesn't have the cash flow, the finances to do what you see is being done with Devin Haney. You can't get upset at that because Ryan Garcia, which I've already given him a "you idiot," so I ain't gonna call him that. Ryan Garcia, you signed. You're the one who signed to Golden Boy. You could have signed with the Zone. You could have signed with Matchroom, but you decided to sign with Golden Boy. So you have to deal with that situation. And if they don't get these boxers on this mindset, then I think that's going to be another issue. They need to have that meeting.
for the first time in a long time, there needs to be, you know, boxing unity for once.
Yeah,
but they got to come together, because, like I said, pay cuts maybe for, you know, for because they did it in soccer, football. You know, they were asking people to take pay cuts so the club can survive. And I think boxing needs to do the same. Otherwise, you know, the sport will suffer. You know, maybe reduce prices for some of the pay-per-views. Just anything they can do, come together for once. It will be surprising to see, but I hope that I hope the boxing community can do it.
Yeah. Could you imagine? Sorry, could you imagine Bob Arum, Al Heyman, what's his name? The British boy, the one I don't like. Eddie Hearn in the same freaking room together. Not only did they need a freaking room big enough to hold all their head. Not only did they,
Brian, look, I'm gonna tell you why I say that. Actually, I could imagine them because maybe it was a few months ago. I put a video up talking about this, and I said this as my idea on this whole situation with these promoters. Hold on real quick. South Corey, what's up with you, fam? Appreciate you coming through. Boxing Monster, my man Boxing Monster in the building. What's up with you? Chin Smoke. Smoke up in here. What's up? So I put in this video, I said this. All of these promoters, and I hate promoters. I'm telling y'all now. I said they're necessary evil of this sport. We gotta have them. I don't like them. So I said all of these promoters, they're fooling the fans, bro. They all sit back and work together, and they might be on fucking yachts on a party, smoking cigars, chilling, talking about how much money they made with these bullshit narratives that they listen. You got
boxing narcos.
One day, Bob Arum comes out and he says, Al Heyman's a travesty to boxing. He should be blah, blah, blah. Then the next day he comes out, I love working with Al Heyman. We're going to get this done. These guys are working together behind the scene. I wouldn't be surprised at all if they fucking sitting at Ruth Chris Steakhouse having a meal and wine talking about boxing.
That's impossible. There's no steakhouses that could fit both of their heads.
Yeah, you know. But just like the true nature of the narcos, these guys have got to come together now, because the money's going to dry up, you know. At the end of the day, this is why these guys are all in it. So, you know, for once, we are going to need to see some sort of boxing unity. It's going to be interesting, real interesting. It's worrying times. And like, as I said, man, great subject. But listen, guys, I got to go. Thanks for having me, D. Love, Brian, everyone in the panel.
I'll let someone else wrap, man. Give me your thoughts on that.
No problem, man. No problem, man. Thanks for showing love. Take care.
I'm heading off too, D. Just wanted to come in and say a few thoughts on it.
I appreciate you guys, man. Appreciate you.
Thanks everyone in the chat and on the panel. And I'll see you all later. I'm looking after my niece now, so.
All right, Brian. Y'all welcome anytime, fam.
No worries.
I dropped the link in the chat in case someone else wants to jump on and give some thought. Boxing Virus says he re-signed last year after complaining about the same damn thing, and he's talking about Ryan Garcia. And exactly, bro. And that's why, like, you know, it's good for the fans to have these discussions, but they need to have those discussions with these boxers, bro. Because, you know, here's another thing about these boxers, guys. Hold on. Scott Brown said networks should pay more for bigger fights. They need to viewers. Yeah, that's true. That's true. They're gonna have to. That's what I'm saying. It's gonna have to be some form of a compromise. You know what I'm saying, Scott? They're gonna have to compromise. South Korea said boxing needs thinkers at the moment. Let's hate. That's a fact. That's a fact. I wish I could sit in there with these guys and talk to them about some of this stuff. We in here, big up every. Oh yeah, that's what's up. What's up, AD? Appreciate you. But so these boxers. This is the thing. For lower profile boxers, like the Boots Ennis, and Virgil Ortiz is on the rise, but still he's a prospect. So he's not drawing any big crowds as of yet. But for these lower profile boxers and these prospects, we have a lot of good fighters all around the sport. Priority one is that meeting with the networks and boxers, of course. Priority two should be trying to figure out something to start showcasing all of these lower lower class fighters, you know, and prospects, because there's a lot of them out there that will give us extremely good fights. So I think that should be the second thing on their agenda. First, talk to these boxers, everybody come together and talk about the finances of the sport. And then the promoters and networks work together to start getting these fights showcased. And also all of this not crossing the street and all of that bullshit, that definitely needs to stop immediately. All of this, I'm not crossing the street, or like the PBC, I'm not working with the zone. Nah, bro. That type of stuff needs to stop immediately, because that ain't doing the sport no damn good. Raider from LA in the building. What's good with you, fam? My man, I buy houses up in here. What's good? I buy houses. Like, they really need to do something about that. Magro said, I heard Sky and BT Sports are doing the Fury Joshua fight at $49.99. Excellent. Excellent. Which is what, about $61? That's terrific. It'll probably be more here. That's probably an $80 fight in America. For sure, $79.99. But I'll pay it. I'll pay $120 for that damn fight. That's the biggest fight. Like, that's what we all want. If it's for 4 belt undisputed, they could charge me what they want. I paid over $700-800 one year on pay-per-views between boxing and the UFC. So I'll pay that money, bro. Certain like high caliber fights, good comment, man, bro, because this is something else they can utilize too. Jose Yepes in the building. What's good with you, Jose? Certain caliber fights, I think they do need to charge more. And I know that fans don't want to hear it. What do you think you mean they need to charge more? I think they need to charge more and make those fights happen. You know, it's kind of a two-edged sort of bittersweet situation where, yeah, we'll have to pay more, but if they don't put these fights on, then all of our sport, guys, this is all of our sport, is going in the tank. So would you rather our sport go in the tank, or would you rather pay an extra 20 or 30 bucks? Me, I would rather pay an extra 20 or 30 bucks. I don't want my sport of boxing going into the tank. Shit, me, I don't want a lot of sports going into the tank. Soccer, football, tennis, basketball, baseball, boxing, UFC. I'm upset if any of them go, because I just like to watch sports. You know what I mean? So they need to make that happen. Put on these high caliber fights. You guys take the hit. It's something they're going to have to be willing to do too. Y'all going to have to take the hit as promoters, as networks. See, these guys are greedy. This is something else that I've charged them with plenty of times. Iceman said Floyd messed up boxing. Floyd changed the landscape of boxing, and yeah, he bought a lot of bad things, but COVID-19 is responsible for this situation. We can't even put Floyd in this at all, bro, because had Floyd not changed the landscape of boxing or not, a lot of these complaints would still be happening during this COVID-19 situation, Iceman. So I don't disagree with you that Floyd threw a lot of crap into boxing that, you know, doesn't do us any good these days. But at the same time, man, Floyd don't have really anything to do with this situation. Not this particular situation. It's not, this ain't his fault, bro. This is a world problem. And Floyd, the world don't center around Floyd Mayweather. This is a world problem. A lot of us are having this issue, and it's putting all of our sport in jeopardy. We drop that link in the chat. Again, just in case anybody didn't get it, the comments coming pretty fast. Eddie and the PBC have over 100 million each a year. They can't need fans with guaranteed payments like that. I don't know. They can't need. Well, I don't know. Okay, it's not like we asking for a mega fight behind closed doors. No, we're not. We're not. And I think that a lot of fans can empathize with the fact, because I've not heard a lot of complaints about that when it comes to these high caliber fights. You know, when guys like my guy, Teofimo Lopez, and, you know, I divide the heat evenly. But when my guy like Teofimo Lopez comes up and say, I ain't fighting in front of, like, kid, chill out. Like, you my dude, but you need to go ahead and make that happen. Fans or no fans. But when you got guys like Anthony Joshua and Fury, you know, Spence and Crawford, then no, we have to sympathize with that. You know, Pacquiao, we got to sympathize with that and kind of see how these things play out. But all of these fights ain't the high caliber fights. And even though these opponents, these fighters may be on their way up or they may have a little clout with them, they still have to knuckle down and fight without those fans. That's what I think. Dragonleg says, I pay 80 for Tio. Hell yeah. Teofimo versus Lomo. You damn right. Teofimo is my favorite boxer. So Tyson Fury is my favorite heavyweight. And y'all hear me talking about Fury a lot because the heavyweight division is always talked about. But Teofimo is my favorite boxer. So you damn right. If I pay 80 for Fury Joshua, I'm paying 80 for that. Hell yeah, buddy. I feel you, Dragonleg. Brian said I would buy that subscription here that gets you. I pay over $100 a month for my Sky Sports subscription. Yeah, I heard about that with Sky Sports. They charge a monthly subscription. $100. That's a lot, bro. No, that's 100 pounds. That's more than $100. That's a lot. That's expensive. Joshua Greer was all, man, I say, and you know what? I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot for that. I'm biased. I think he was on the panel. I said I'm not even really convinced with Josh Greer, but my dumb ass picked him by unanimous decision anyway. And someone was telling me last night, I was like, you know what? Maybe I should go with Landon for majority or split, but I was like, nah, Josh Greer. I just knew more about Josh Greer, and even though I wasn't fully convinced of him, I didn't know enough about his opponent. But I looked at a couple of his fights, and I was like, man, this kid's pretty good. He might get Josh Greer, but I went ahead and put Josh Greer for the decision, and I screwed myself on that one. I will never convince a Josh Greer either, bro. I said it a lot of times. Like, a lot of these fighters, they get the hype, but if you watch them in the ring, you can see, man. You can see where they're lacking. You can see the flaws. Scott Brown says boxing's an easier sport to show on TV, but you don't have to worry about the whole team getting. Yeah, that's true. Boxing versus team sports. But here's another aspect of that you have to think about, Scott Brown. Let me go back to that comment. This is true. But here's another aspect. When it comes to the money that these athletes are getting, boxers get paid terribly less. You only have like the Tyson Furies, the Canelos, Anthony Joshua's. They're comparable to other sports. 90% of these boxers are not. You know what I mean? You have guys in the NFL that ride the bench all season. This is just 16 weeks, and they get $489,000 just to do that. Don't play a goddamn game. They might come in at the end of the game, take a couple of snaps or something, and they get paid $489,000 just to do that. Guys walk into the NBA at $389,000, endorsements and all types of stuff. So when you look at these boxers and their salaries, really throws a monkey wrench in this. You know, at least coming from the boxer's perspective, because they're athletes. They're athletes, but boxing is 11th in this country in popularity. So they're going to have to understand, if you're going to pay $20 to watch White versus Rivas or Chisora, you got to charge more for undisputed facts. Because I ain't paying the $20. I might catch it on, what's that streaming thing? VIP streaming or some shit. Salute, Hard Rico in the building. What's good with your fam? Let me see. Boxing Monster. Samuel, you only come here to, when you disagree with me or double talking. Y'all to a trip, man. For a big fight. Yeah, for a big fight, charge more. Charge more and people will pay. My man Monkey Kung Fu in the building. What's good with you, Monkey? Monkey Kung Fu says, yes, in my opinion, the revival of boxing depends on the return of fans of the sport, not fanboys and fangirls. More importantly, on the return of truly hungry fighters. All facts, bro. All facts. Because these fighters, such as Ryan Garcia, Adrian Broner, Tank Davis, these prima donnas thinking that they're worth more than they are, that shit's not going to get the sport back. Very good comment, Monkey Kung Fu. That type of stuff is not going to get the sport back. The hungry fighters, such as these prospects that I was mentioning, and these lower profile fighters that are not noticed, they're hungry because they ain't making a lot of money anyway. So it makes them no difference. They ain't got to take less. They taking the same, the little bit of money they're making, but they're good fighters and they don't get the opportunity to showcase their skills. Those are the type of guys we need. Those are the type of guys we need. I think that Anthony Joshua, now, let's not get this twisted. I don't think he'll take some great big cut, like 10 million for a fight. No. But I think that Anthony Joshua, Johnny Boy probably wouldn't agree with this. I think that he would be willing to maybe take a little less because to accomplish 4 belt. So this is like a high caliber fighter that probably would be willing to take a little less, but they're going to have to come to the table, like I said earlier, and have that meeting with these fighters. But some fighters, I think they are in lieu of legacy. They're trying to be great. And so to piggyback off of what Monkey was saying, those hungry fighters, they'll bring the sport back because they'll be more willing to take a little less to make this happen because they also want to achieve. They also want to unify, get a belt in another division and accomplish. That's so, Ayob said, he said, excellent, shaking my head. They double in live. Yeah. You see, get this smoke. He said, how much more? 100 pounds. Yeah, that's a lot, man. That's a lot of money, man. Sky Sports should be ashamed of themselves. I blame people trying to be Mayweather instead of being themselves. Yeah, there's a lot of that going around. A lot of these shoulder rolls that ain't no damn shoulder roll boxing fighters, you know what I mean? Like, dude, you need to fight because that shoulder roll ain't working for you. Anthony Yard, I don't think that shoulder roll, you need to leave that alone. D watches the ESPN base competition on Sunday. Yo, we got to have another roast too, man. We got to do another D Jefferson roast, bro. That was a lot of fun. Smoke is worth double. What White versus Rivas? Yeah, it is worth triple what White versus Rivas is. Triple, I paid triple the price. Jose, I heard football was back, but soccer, that's what Americans play. The rest of the world plays football. Well, man, grower, to be correct, the rest of the world plays football. Football is actually American football. Football, F-U with the asterisk, T-B-O-L. That correct, Mark?
No, it's not correct.
Oh, shit. Correct me then, Mark.
F-O-O-T-B-A-L-L was created in the UK and England. It's football. Football is what Hispanics call it. That is the translation of football.
There you go. Correction by my man Mark. What's up with you, rival?
I'm good. I'm just out there doing a microphone test, seeing if everything's okay. How's things?
Oh, it's great. Correction. Thank you, man, girl. Great comment. Correction, my man. Yeah, so you got this. You see what I was talking about today, Mark?
No, I just got on, man.
Check it out. You'll get the gist of it right here. Look at the thumbnail.
Jesus Christ. Fucking hell, that's a sinking ship right there. Shout out to the Titanic. Yeah, possibly. The fans are very tired of a lot of bullshit. I mean, we've had a lot of fights where a lot of fans at this stage are starting to think match fixing is very real in boxing these days, especially in the lower echelon where you have prospects coming on. They're like Tony DeMarco. Even if the fight was close, it should have been Tony DeMarco's fight. We've seen Mimoun get robbed against Tyrone McKenna in the UK under MTK. Fans are getting pissed off. They're putting on a lot of crappy fights, let's be honest. A lot of crap fights. And this people like, oh, it's just after the whole pandemic thing. But here's the reality.
outside of 2, 3, 4 good, we had a good-looking schedule for the first time in a couple of years, really. Other than that, we mostly get nothing, and then a few good fights to make it good. It's mostly marination all year, and then you have a few fights to make the year look good. But yeah, like if you look at it, the Derevianchenko Triple G, great fight. Is it a marquee top tier fight? Not really. The Derevianchenko's not really a top tier marquee name. Golovkin, not really a massive name outside of Canelo. What's he done? Like in terms of tickets, in terms of sales, in terms of numbers, revenue, nothing really. Outside of Wilder Fury, there wasn't really anything big in the States in the heavyweight division, pretty much. None of it was big. Other than when Wilder fights, nothing is big. Ruiz Joshua, yeah, but that had way more intrigue due to just things that weren't supposed to happen. That was the unexpected that created that situation. Taylor Prograis, immense fight. Is it a top tier name fight? Not really. Nobody knows these guys outside of boxing fans. So we don't really get much. And what we do get, we pretty much praise and hail to the highest levels we can. And it's like, bro, I was excited to get Thomas Delorme versus Jamal James. I thought it was a very nice fight. I was excited for it. But in reality, do I have to be excited for that? No. Why should I be excited for it? We're seeing the sport take a really big turn. Like if you look at the 90s, people like, was Don King good or bad for the sport? He was great for the boxing fan. He was fantastic. I'm sorry if I have Tito Trinidad, that Larry Holmes, if I have Julio Cesar Chavez all on the same fucking card, I'm going to be a happy man. Nowadays, I've got Callum Smith fighting Hassan and Dam. What is this? So, the sport's going away, man. It's not what it used to be. Do I sound clear, by the way, or am I too loud or poppy?
You sound real. I need to buy me a mic. It sounds good. Raider said, D, I heard you watch KO highlights and film study. Is this true? Hey, man, we got to do that roast, man. Y'all guys are crazy. My man Orlando Chavez stepped in the building. What's good, Orlando? Oh, I'm way behind on the chat. Man, I get so far behind on these chats. Ty Legacy, what's up with your Ty Legacy? Appreciate you. 80 diehard casuals, just be, yes. Man, you guys typing. Do be great, shout, but these corrupt bodies won't allow that to happen. I'm not really sure. I think I kind of got lost on that. Box fans in the building. What's good with your box fans? Let me see. Make sure I got to swing back down, man. Boy, Mark, do you get as lost on the chats as I do? And these things come so fast. I know you do a better job with that than I do.
I do. I get extremely lost in the chats, especially when I'm drinking whiskey that Monkey Kung Fu sent me. My bad, D. I had a fucking phone call, dog. I didn't mean to be on mute that long. I had to take this shit.
Oh, no, you good, bro. You good. The show must go on, Johnny boy.
All right.
What's good, Ozzy? What's good? But, yeah, Mark, you make some very, very valid points, bro. Very, very valid points. I mean, and you think about these fights that they were putting on and we were paying for pay-per-view. That's something else that got to stop, bro. This marination and putting on these fights is, pay-per-views? Nah, bro. Pay-per-view fights in this day and time have to be two things. It has to be good cards, not just a main event and some trash underneath. They have to be good cards. And the second thing that has to happen with these pay-per-view events is, dog, these fighters have to take less money. If not, this is not going to happen. It ain't going to work, bro.
Yeah.
All this marination and all at this day and time, that's got to stop. Ain't no marinating the fights, bro, because you're going to marinate boxing right out of business.
Yeah. Yeah, straight up, D.
Yeah.
I look, bro. I was just on BDA's Discord talking last night. I'm like, dude, like it's always gonna be my favorite sport. I love the sport boxing, but like I'm really starting to get fucking untuned with it, dog. It's just a bunch of stupid. It's just, bro, like it's always gonna be my favorite sport, bro, by far. But like at the same breath, you know, I'm really starting to get unchimed with the sport, dog. It's just a bunch of fucking stupid ass whether it's 2 YouTube channels or 2 fighters or 2 promoters, it's just a bunch of mindless shit talk with nothing that ever substantiates, bro. That's all it is, dog. That's all it. And I hate to say that, but that's the truth, bro. That's you know,
it's a fact, Johnny. And look, they're ruining it. They're ruining it. Also, something that we have to think about, guys, is they're ruining it at our level. We're content creators and we support y'all sport. They're ruining it at our level. I was just on. Mark was there last night too. I was just on Beats and Rhymes last night. Man, he's, you know, with the shit going on around the world and all of the dumb shit these other channels are saying, bro, he's thinking about giving it up for a while. And I was like, damn, dog, don't do that. Because you're not Beats and Rhymes. Like, that's one of my favorite channels and shit. But the way he's feeling, like he shares your sentiments, Johnny boy. It's like, we ain't getting the fights. All of these fans are talking all of this dumb shit, and then we got all of this shit going on around the world.
Like at the end of the day, bro, you know, like stupid ass sucker shit like Ryan Garcia and Tank, like, oh, I'll beat your ass, he'll beat his ass, I'll kick the shit out of both of you, blah 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 blah. Don't none of that mean nothing. It's all talk, bro. It's just talk, dog. It's just talk.
It is, man. It is.
And the same applies to the bigger scale shit like Fury and AJ. He'll whip his ass. He'll do this. He'll do this. He'll do this. What about Dillian White? Blah 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 blah. It's just a bunch of shit talk, dog. There's no fights happening. You know what I mean?
Hey, man, hold on for a second. Boxing Monster, let me tell you something right now, dog. Now, those 847 days, my friend, that I did in the penitentiary, I played a whole hell of a lot of spades and a whole hell of a lot of bones. So whenever you want to make that happen, let's do it. I will beat you like you stole something. Guaranteed. I'll beat you like you stole something.
dude, I fucking when I had to go sit for a few days because of that DUI like 6 months ago, when I had the ankle bracelet and shit, dog. I was sitting down there with these fucking little 19-year-olds and 18-year-olds trying to play spades. And they're like, bro, you know what the fuck you're doing with this? I'm like, you know who the fuck you're talking to, son? I'm like, you know who the fuck? You know, like, I was like, this, deal the cards.
That's all it is in there, too, because they doing it every day. They think they the pros. Like, nobody else know how to play spades. You know, fuck, I been playing spades before you was born. Fuck you.
I got this little 19-year-old kid that looks like fucking Lazy Bone from Bone Thugs over here trying to talk, telling me, no, when you do this, you gotta play. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Shut up. Give me your ramen. Shut up. Shut the fuck up.
No, I'll tell you guys something too. To get back to the top, I'm gonna tell you this too. And because you know we'll go fly off the handle. We always have these kind of conversations. But with this channel, with Speak Your Mind Sports Talk, I'm kind of glad that I started off doing multiple sports, bro. Because like basketball is going to be coming back. UFC, Dana White don't seem to have lost a beat. He missed a few weeks, but he was right back in there. So I'm still going to be reporting on that stuff, but it's bothering me about what's going on with boxing because it's one of my favorite sports. I love the UFC, but boxing is at the top 3 of my sports, bro, between boxing, football, and basketball. You know what I mean? And it's killing me, bro. It's killing me was just the vulnerability of it all. It's so vulnerable right now. That's what's really hitting me the hardest. Like, I ain't afraid of anything. I don't believe in fear, but man, it's alarming to say the least because our sport is on shaky ground, skating on thin ice right now, bro. Our sport of boxing. I want to report. I talk more boxing on this channel than anything. I just got back to MMA and basketball. Just got back to it. But I never left boxing the whole time I've been talking boxing. So, like, this shit bothers me, man. I don't know about the rest of the content creators or if they're even thinking on this level. But for the content creators that do predominantly boxing, like myself, Mark, Johnny Boy, bro, we might have to start coming up with new fucking ideas. Talking about other shit.
I'm gonna jump over onto my phone real quick, D. So can you add me into my phone in a sec?
Yeah, I'll put you right back in. So like, fuck, man, it's like almost like us starting all over again. You know what I'm saying, Johnny Boy? Like, it's crazy, bro. There it is. All right. Yeah, Johnny Boy must have took another smoke break.
All right. Nah, I just said I had to go get a bottle of water. I'm hungover like a motherfucker.
Yeah, man. I told you, Johnny Boy, the key is, here's the key. You got to drink water while you're getting drunk.
It's so damn hot. Milk was a bad choice. Fuck.
Oh, no, stay away from that milk unless it's almond milk. Almond milk don't make you sick if you drink it. It don't. I swear. Almond milk. Try it out. If you drink it like a Black Russian or some shit, make that shit with almond milk instead of cow's milk. Watch. I'm telling you right now, bro. It's much better. You don't fucking get all of that nausea shit. I don't really drink mixed drinks anyway. I drink my shit straight.
Yeah, whew, bro. That's
Okay.
that's why I don't be drinking, because I mean, Mark will tell you.
That's not true. That's not true. He said the UFC is in the toilet. LOL, stop it. All their stars are revolting. They're not in the toilet. They're in trouble. They have troubles. But look at UFC. I just did a video on this AI. You go look at that video I put up. It's got the flames. That UFC 251 card is fucking lit, bro. Yeah. Even with John Jones revolting. Even with Conor McGregor revolting. Yeah, I know about all of that stuff that's going on. I put that video up about that too. That Dana White has some troubles. But although he has troubles, he's nowhere nearly in the shape that boxing's in, bro.
Yeah, I can kill that whole AOBs or whatever the fuck your name is. I like you, bro. You're always around, but in the same breath, dog. Check this out, bro.
Yeah, I watch both. Both.
Check this out, homie, dog. UFC's got fucking 5 title fights coming up in the next 2 months. What does boxing got coming up? Exactly. I rest my case.
Right, and that, like I said, that UFC 251 card is lit. Every goddamn fight, bro. So I don't know what you mean. That sport is okay. Chill Smoke said D won't give up boxing until Fury and Teofimo retire. Goddamn right. You got that right, fam. All right. Let me see. Tim said, Tim Dub in the building. What's good, Tim Dub? He said, Samuel, long story, but no, ESPN Plus told me I had to create an account with Dish. I had no clue it was on regular ESPN until you told me. Oh, wow. I didn't even know that. See, and that's multi that's what you call a multi-promotional thing there, Tim, where Dish and ESPN pretty much working together on shit like that. Like if they tell you got to, because then you got to go buy Dish Network just to get ESPN Plus, right? So that's like a scam if you ask me, but maybe that's just me. I really want to start a gaming channel. Oh, dog, do it. That's the #1 community on YouTube. Do it. You'll turn around. Like, I've been on here for a year. I got 1,200 subs. You go into gaming for a year. You have 80,000 subs before you fucking blink. You be past showbiz.
No. I'm not saying that. No. I know that gaming is by far the one that is, when you get up there, you'll gain the most, right? It's also the hardest to actually get people to follow you because there's so many of them.
Oh, okay.
That makes so many. It's like, I'll be honest. I know somebody, a friend of mine, he's been doing Twitch and YouTube for 3 years. He has 200 followers on Twitch and he has 80 on YouTube, and he releases a video every day for 2 years straight every day. And he has nothing, but he just does it for love. And he's actually done all the things you're supposed to. But if you do a playthrough on a video game, there's already 700 other people who've done it.
Right.
So it's hard. It is actually hard to just break into that.
I don't know much about the industry because you know a lot more about it. But I just assume that because of the level of success I was having with my gaming. Like I just started doing dumb shit, and I see people I didn't even know they were just coming from everywhere. You know what I mean? So I just assumed that. But you're probably right, bro. That makes sense what you're saying, bro.
Well, it does help that you have a view base.
Yo, big ups to Get the Smoke for talking that shit about Anthony Joshua, bro. That's my new best friend right there. Get the smoke.
Get this.
That's my new best friend right there. Yeah. Fuck AJ.
I play both. I play both. By points or last domino. Bones by points. Dominoes, motherfucker. By the last domino. I think boxing is in a great place. This new wave of talent will carry the sport for the next 10 years. If Black and Brown,
oh my God.
That's a if. That's a big if. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. And then you and Johnny Boy can expound. If I think that could be a true statement, Black and Brown, but I think that's only a possibility if these promoters and network showcase these guys. If they don't showcase these guys, I can't really agree with that. Because right now their attention is on the high caliber fights. So still these lower profile guys and the guys that you're talking about, they're still in limbo because they're trying to make the money and get these high caliber fights to happen. So if they focus on these guys, I don't know.
Black and Brown, you're a good guy. I like you. But in the same breath, how is it in a great place when we don't have a fucking single title fight on the schedule? How is it in a fucking great place when none of these big fights are getting made? None of them. None. Not Loma Teofimo, not Fury AJ, not fucking faggot ass little Ryan Garcia and them. Nothing. Nothing's getting made, dog. How could it be in a great place? It's in a shit place, dog. Shit
Right.
place. Yeah, like hopefully I'm wrong and it does turn out to be that, but nah, man, it ain't no good place. Nah.
I think we're in a vulnerable place right now. The Texan says almond milk really lowers your cholesterol and less sodium. Yeah, it does. That's why I started drinking it. Intangible boxing. I'm a chess player and a poker guy. Me too. Texas Hold'em is my favorite. I like all poker, but Texas Hold'em is my favorite. But chess, yeah, I used to play a lot of chess. I haven't played for a while. I unsubscribed from ESPN because of no boxing. Yeah, man. They gotta do better. And that, like I said, that card that Top Rank put on, that shit ain't gonna cut it, bro.
Yeah.
That ain't gonna cut it. They're gonna have to put on much better cards than that if this sport is gonna sustain. That's not gonna be suffice. If YouTube didn't have all these policies, I'd be making highlights and yeah, man. But you know that Fair Use Act does kill you. I know what you mean by that, bro. Brown, what's up, Brown? Going one. Go ahead, Johnny boy.
Let me just say this. He said Navarrete and Berchelt are both title fights. Okay, first of all, let me just say this, homie. No, they're not no championship fights. They're fucking title holder fights against bums. Let's keep it 1,000%, bro. That ain't no fucking.
They're chewed up. They're chewed up fights.
Actually, no. Navarrete is fighting at featherweight, so it's not a title defense.
Oh wait, he's actually at featherweight. That's not even for his WBO world title at 132.
No, it's not.
That's absolute fucking bullshit, man. That's fucking
regardless
bullshit.
of what 3 pounds separate him and his regardless of what fucking 2.5 pounds separate him and his opponent, he's still fighting a fucking turd. So yeah, I mean, yeah, come on. Fucking title fight, my balls.
Is Berchelt a world title fight?
I'm gonna look that up right now.
Or
no,
is
He's
that
fighting, bro.
It's if it's against TBA, it ain't no title fight, bro. Flat out.
Yeah. Real quick, I want you guys to answer this. Mark, I'll start with you. But Raider says if Tyson Fury accepts the franchise before the Wilder fight, and Wilder is okay to step aside, Fury then wants to fight Joshua, does he also have to pay White to step aside?
No.
The Berchelt fight is a 10-round lightweight bout.
Okay. No, that's absolute horseshit as well. No, he doesn't, because he's not the champion then. He doesn't have to pay White any step aside. Dillian White would probably be elevated or have to fight against somebody else, probably Wilder, for the WBC title.
Right. Yeah. And that's the whole point. That's Raider. That was the whole point of why Bob came out with that interview. I don't know if you watched that video I put out, but that was his whole thing, that if they're gonna force this situation, then I'll just petition to get Fury elevated to franchise champion so that they could avoid that type of thing. But I just wanted to hear what Mark had to say on that. Another aspect of it is that if this was to happen, Raider, remember, they don't have to satisfy Dillian White until, what is it, February 2021?
Yeah, 21st of February 2021.
Right. So if this was to happen, then they can make the fight and White just still sit down and shut the fuck up because they'll still have plenty of time to satisfy him, even if they didn't elevate him. So I don't think that would be an issue. But Wilder and them are talking about they're not taking no step aside money. He's going in there to get beat up again.
They would have to pay Dillian White step aside. Let's say Wilder took the step aside, right?
Right.
And Fury and Joshua ended up fighting in November or December, hypothetically, in a perfect world scenario, which ain't going to happen because of the IBF situation for Undisputed with Pulev. Even if that were to happen and it was for Undisputed, Dillian White would still have to have his fight for February, and if not, the title would have to be stripped.
Right.
Unless the WBC say at our sole discretion. So,
no, which they always have that option, ain't it, Mark?
Yes.
Steven Schneider, what's good with you, fam? Yeah, that's the thing with the WBC. It can always end up that way. Because, like Mark pointed out, Suleiman at the end of every damn rule has at our discretion. So if that's at the end of every goddamn rule, you can basically do what you want. What is the point of even having a list of rules if you're going to put at the end of it at our discretion? You just might as well have a rule book with one page that say we do what the fuck we want. That's
Van Helsing would have beat the shit out of Benny Leonard. Anyways, fucking Caligula beat the fuck out of Benny Leonard when they were sparring. But anyway,
Coco Kid knocks out fucking Pacquiao at welterweight.
Mm-hmm. How many full fights have you seen of him, Intangible?
Exactly. Oh, none of his are online, but look, bro.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, Ayob. If it's the next fight, they don't have to pay him shit.
How many rounds of that guy are filmed? 2? Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Fuck. But anyway, boxing's dead. None of these fights are made. It fucking blows.
Yeah, I've honestly considered just sort of anointing my own champions per weight class instead of recognizing alphabet.
Yeah. Boxer Virus says, anybody think it would be comical if White finally got his WBC title shot and he got knocked out in the first round?
In that case, he would have to face Deontay Wilder.
Yeah, for that to happen. But that would be hilarious. I would laugh my ass off about it because, number one, Dillian White, you leave it up to him, he whoops everyone's ass. They all afraid of him. They all don't want to see him. So if he went in there and got knocked out, popping all of that shit, bringing up all of this fuss, that would be amazing. But I do agree with Intangible. Fury ain't knocking him out in the first round. Joshua ain't knocking him out in the first round. If somebody did knock him out in the first round, it would be Deontay Wilder to slip that right hand in there and pull him out of his misery. That's what it would be.
I honestly, if Wilder were to face White, I actually think Wilder has a good chance of stopping him in the first round.
or some round. And I've said that for a while. I used to say that about Joshua too until Joshua made a lot of changes after that Ruiz fight. Now I think that would be a hell of a lot more difficult for Wilder to get it done. But prior to that Ruiz fight, Joshua with that gas tank and all of his flaws, I was like, Wilder will slip that right hand in there and knock him out. But I don't think it's much now.
At the same time, man, Dillian, even though I do...
Hold on, Tangible. Let Johnny go, because you know you can't go without saying
Ass Juice, AJ, gassed out in 4 rounds against a 50-year-old Klitschko that hadn't fought in 2 years. That fucking kid was huffing and puffing like he needed, like Johnny Boy when he needs his inhaler over here after fucking 3 rounds. 4 rounds. Fury will wear him down, knock him out late because AJ's a pussy, but he'll never fight him. End of discussion.
I don't like Dillian White that much, even though I do side with him on this WBC thing and that Fury should fight him. Even though I do think that's the case, not a huge fan of his. And honestly, when Wilder faces him, I'm team bomb squad. Speak it, believe it, receive it all day, every day.
Hey, Iceman says Wilder couldn't do it either. Here's the thing, Iceman. Now, I don't think Intangible is saying this either, and I'm not saying this. We're not saying Wilder will beat him. We're saying if he was to get knocked out in the first round, it would be Wilder that would be the one to do it. We're not saying that he would do it. But you can't say that Wilder couldn't do it because Oscar Rivas, Marius Watt, they was tapping Dillian White up, Iceman. Dillian White ain't no super defensive fighter. Derek Chisholm.
Could Povetkin do it?
He's no super defensive fighter. So with Wilder's one thing about Wilder, we call him a one-trick pony for a reason. But he got that one trick, and he got it down pat, Iceman. That dude has amazing timing on that right hand. That's his thing. So, again, Dillian White is no defensive specialist. So he can get clipped by that right hand. You can't say.
Honest question, though. Outside of Wilder, could Povetkin actually take him out in a round? I think it's possible.
He's got.
I don't think Povetkin can take him out in a round, but I think Povetkin has a good chance at beating him.
Can I give you my reason why I think he can beat him in one round? I've seen Dillian White.
Speculation, the fight won't ever happen.
Yeah, but hypothetically, go ahead, Mark. Because I think so too. But go ahead, Mark. You go first.
I think Povetkin could knock White out in one round because Dillian White has very poor balance. If you look at him against Hellenius hit him with a jab and rocked him to his boots. Povetkin's a very explosive fighter, especially he can be very early on. If he comes out and smashes him, just goes for it right off the bat, and Dillian gets dropped, Povetkin's an elite finisher. He could take him out.
Yeah, I also do think that Povetkin is probably going to take the early rounds kind of slow. I think he'll probably try to save his energy.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not too sure about that. Intangible.
Because he wasn't just coming out guns blazing early on in the Hunter fight. I think Povetkin is going to try to get inside of him and make White move and get off balance first before he's able to get his hooks off.
Potentially. But here's the thing. You got to contemplate a lot of things that could potentially be a game plan. But the game plan could be to go in there, just like Mark said, and take him out. See, these trainers, and when they design these game plans, they look at the other fighter that's across from them. So you can say that Povetkin did that against Hunter, but he ain't fighting no goddamn Hunter. He's going to go in there against the Dillian White. So his team may not devise the same game plan that he had with Hunter. This is why style fights, bro. You got to
plus Dillian.
Go by what
Lillian, not Dillian, Lillian.
Lillian White, yeah. Lillian White.
Lillian, little bitch Mohawk boy crying about give me my title shot. Like I say, every time an undisputed heavyweight championship fight rolls around, here comes Eddie Hearn's lapdog with this fucking faggot mohawk and his fucking goofy ass anal beads that he wears around his neck. Excuse me, son. Me and Anthony are trying to have dinner. Lillian, go get the man at the front porch. Me and Anthony Joshua are trying to have dinner here, sir. Lillian, get the man at the front porch. Is that Wilder? Lillian, answer the door. Is that Tyson Fury? Lillian.
Your name is Chauncey?
No, it's not.
Oh, I see that in the chat. I thought your name was Chauncey.
That isn't my real name.
I got a huge prediction to make, by the way.
Go ahead.
Ann Wolfe has a bigger set of balls than Anthony Joshua has. That's all I know. That's all I know.
But here's the thing, like I don't really understand the logic of the WBC has carved out a bigger path for Fury to get undisputed than the sanctioning bodies with Joshua. Thus, Joshua's ducking.
Excuse me, me and Lillian are trying to have tea.
That's just look, man.
Oh,
Intangible. Here's the thing. Every boxer has people that don't like them. And a lot of people have validity because of some of the things they've done. So people have their thing. Everybody ain't gonna fucking like Anthony Joshua. That's just the case, bro. Like, you're gonna have people say dumb shit on every fighter. That's just how it is. I don't necessarily agree with that nonsense. I don't think that Anthony Joshua, like, I listen to Johnny Boy and I laugh, but I don't think he's afraid of any of them. I don't. I don't think he's afraid, but it's the business, bro. Is he afraid to lose those belts? Yeah. Because if you lose those belts, you lose your meal ticket. So I could say there's some fear there, but I think Joshua think he can beat the shit out of all of them.
Well, if you're afraid of losing, period, you're not a fighter. That's the way it is. If you're afraid of losing at all, you're not a fighter. I mean, that's what Bert. Rest in peace to my man Bert Sugar. You know, his fucking all-time list is better than Mark's and Intangibles. But check this out. But yeah, bro. I mean, you know, he said the same thing about Floyd back in the day, homie. You know, he might not be scared of Pacquiao, but the pussy motherfucker's scared of losing. That's what it is.
Oh, yeah. So explain why Jack Dempsey is the 8th greatest
Man,
fighter
explain
of all
why
time.
I don't give a fuck about people I can't watch fight from 200 years ago, Intangible.
Yeah.
Fuck
No,
outta here.
there are people you
Jesus
can watch from
fucking
200
Christ,
years ago
man.
with better careers
Man,
than
fuck
Jack
Ben
Dempsey.
Leonard, that fucking little bro. Fuck
Yo,
that.
Johnny, can you shut the fuck up, mate? I'm serious, man. You starting to piss me off about all the shit you be talking, bro. You don't know shit about boxing, bro. You're a Bob Arum fanboy. Go suck up. Fuck off, mate.
I don't
Shut
give
the
a
fuck up with this shit. Every time you go insulting people constantly, mate. No, stop for a second. Hold up. I'm going to say something to you right now. Earlier, you were saying boxing. It's always these people complaining. You just took a shot about me and Intangible, and you started to use somebody else. How the hell do you know that he knows what he's talking about, huh? Because he makes up fucking stories about different fighters through the years. Is that what it is? Because he sold a book of lies that was absolutely deemed to be completely infallible? Get the hell out of here. You don't know what you're talking about.
How many full fights have you seen of Harry Greb, Mark?
I haven't seen any fights of Harry Greb, so why does Sport Sugar have him rated, huh? Has he seen him fight? He didn't see him fight either.
He has him at 4 all time, I believe.
Well, now let me jump in between this. This is something that is often in the boxing world a complete argument. It's a complete argument. It's a complete debate all the time. I want to jump in between this. The history of the sport, the guys from back in the days, and what's going on now. I believe this. I believe there's a median. I actually agree with both of you guys, and I've said this before. There is a median in this situation. We can't put everything, a lot of historians, not you, Mark, not you, Intangible, but I've come across and encountered a lot of historians that put too much faith in on what old guys done, resumes, weight classes, accomplishments, and such. And with a guy like me that is mainly about what goes on in the ring, I don't necessarily agree with that perspective of it. But then, in you guys' defense, you have to account for all of that because these motherfuckers are not fighting at the level or as much or as long as those guys was fighting. So it's a median there. Like, it's not all one way or all the other. But you can't just dismiss it. You can't say, oh, fuck these old guys. They don't mean, no, they mean a whole hell of a lot, bro. And what they've done, what they've accomplished, and what they did in the sport, how the sport was run. No, it does mean a lot. But it's always like either or with some people. Like, it's all about this and the history, but it's all about these new guys aren't shit. It's all about this. It's not either way. It's all about
Well, here's the reason.
I try to give a man his props, motherfuckers just throwing some dude up from fucking 800 BC over here, trying to get the fuck out of here.
Look,
what you're really doing is proving my point, dog. If you got to go that far back to say somebody's better than somebody else, I rest my case.
Look, what I want to say though is all skill sets are what you see in the ring is what your opinion is on how good they are and how effective their skill set is. Like, Carl Froch was not as skilled as Rigo, but his career was better than Rigo, and that's what matters ultimately because skills are a means to an end on how your resume is. Your skills can help you in those tough fights when it comes to your resume, but your resume is ultimately what matters.
Well, on the flip side to that, Intangible, that's not all the time true. And that's what I'm trying to get. See, I don't want you to be this guy on the side of the historians. Because if that was true, Intangible, if that was true, you wouldn't have these fights where you have this guy who has a shit resume and he goes in there and beats the fuck out of a guy who done fought everybody. And that shit happens in boxing. So you cannot lean on it one way or the other. There's a median. So you have to understand that there's a median. There's no right or wrong in this, bro. Intangible. It's not one way, dog. It works both ways. And if it didn't work both ways, it's valid what you said. But if it didn't work both ways, then why do we have these guys that don't have the impressive resume and all the belts and all the accomplishments, but they come in there and they beat the shit out of the guy that does?
Okay, here's my angle, though, right? All that's going to prove is that the fighter with the shit resume is better than the person who has the better resume but the lesser skills, that doesn't necessarily make him the greater fighter. Jose Anopoulos pretty much completely outclassed Emil Griffith, but his career is not better than Emil Griffith, but his resume was not nearly that of Griffith's at the time. But just because he beat Griffith, that doesn't make him all of a sudden greater than he is.
Okay, Intangible. And the flip side works to that too, is what I'm trying to tell you, bro, because that's just what Johnny Boy was saying. Every time he tries to give respect or props to a guy, somebody brings up some guy from the fucking 1890s. So if you think about it this way, Intangible, when you bring that guy up, what if this was a scenario where the guy Johnny Boy is talking about would have beat the shit out of that guy? And you would never know that because they ain't been in the ring together. But you can't say that.
It depends on the context.
Hold on, let me finish. But you can't just go say, well, this guy accomplished this, he did this resume, and then knock down what Johnny Boy says. And that's what his complaint is, because he gets that a lot of time, and I know he does because I've heard it happen. He'll say something, and then anybody that knows something about the history, I hear them come behind him. Well, you can't say that because such and such back when. That don't always work, Intangible.
Okay, well, here's my...
Hold on, Intangible, hold on. All I know is this. I got Carlos Ocampo beating the shit out of Barbados Joe Walcott. What? Prove me wrong. I've seen him fight. I ain't seen Homeboy fight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me just put it to you like this, right? What was I going to say?
Duran would have beat the fuck out of Joe Gans and Benny Leonard the same night. Slap the ball.
When people say, you're bringing up, you're giving Johnny basically said that when people give guys props, they all of a sudden want to bring guys up from the past. Well, when you give guys props on an all-time scale, and when you, in many people's eyes, are giving them too much credit, you have to bring up guys from the past that could potentially match their resume. When you made that video about Duran stating that he's the greatest lightweight ever with pretty much no doubt, there is going to be different angles who disagree with you. That's just the fact. And people who are more knowledgeable about fighters from back then and don't take the ignorant stance that you do.
And I revert back to the question, how many full Benny Leonard fights have you seen?
None, but that my point is full fights. Okay, well, there's a lot of clippings from the Lou Tendler fight.
None. I may as well be saying Van Helsing would have beat the shit out of Benny Leonard. I could say George Washington would have beat the fuck out of him. It doesn't matter. It's all speculation. You've never seen the man fight.
Here's the thing, bro. It's a lot of validity. You have to understand this, Intangible. It's a lot of validity in what Johnny is saying. This is the thing with, like I was just mentioning the damn prediction league. I ain't gonna lie, bro. The last week I didn't do so well. I got like 6th or 7th place. I'm usually in the top 3 or 4. Okay, I got 6th or 7th place. You know why, Intangible? Because I didn't do film study. So I'm not gonna lie. If I don't do film study, I'm not gonna do very well. So what Johnny Boy is saying, if you can't see these motherfuckers fight, how can you determine anything? And that's valid.
Thank
bro.
you.
Can I talk? Can I talk?
Can
I talk?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because most of us who rate top 100 lists or 200 lists or whatever, we don't do it on fantasy fights.
No,
no, hold on. Let me speak, bro. Shut up. Let me speak. For fuck's sake, and shut up, will you? Let me speak. Jesus Christ, stop cutting me off, man. Fucking annoying me every fucking day, bro. I'm sick of this. Right, I'm gonna say this. When it comes down to when you actually go and you rate things, right? It's not just like as simple as, oh, I think Barbados Joe Walcott beats fucking Ray Robinson or whatever. No, I don't do the fantasy fight shit purely because it's impossible. I cannot turn around and tell another person I know for a fact, that Vladimir Klitschko can beat Joe Louis. I think he could, but I know that Joe Louis in his era did more than Vlad did in his era. I know that. And people will be like, that's a part of time. But Vlad had a lot of fights too. He actually had just about as many as Joe. He had nearly as many world title fights, if not more. Maybe more world title fights. So when you look at it, like, it's as simple as who beat more champions, who beat more Hall of Famers, who beat more top 10 rated opponents, who did more, who had more impressive KO streaks, who fought people who you deem to be better based off of who they fought. That's where it comes down to. It's not just as simple as, oh, I think he beats him, so he's better than him. Yeah, he could beat him in a one-on-one fight, in my opinion. But the resume and the strength and depth of who they actually fought against is what proves greatness. It's not as simple as, hey, Marlon Starling, he could be up on Buddy Boy from 1806. Okay,
Yeah.
but he didn't fight Buddy Boy from 1806, and Buddy Boy from 1806 didn't fight him. Marlon Starling fought this guy, and this guy fought this guy, and he beat this guy, and who had the more proven resume? It's not about saying that this guy beats this guy. That's not what it goes on. It's about this guy proved himself over against these guys based on this context over this length of time and how many people he fought. It's not this guy is just automatically better because I've seen him and I haven't seen him. I don't know who'd win in any of these fantasy fights. Nobody does. They only have an opinion. But I do know when a guy goes and he beats 20 champions, or if he goes and he beats 12 Hall of Famers, and then you'll have people saying, well, there's more fighters in from a longer time ago in the Hall of Fame. There actually isn't. There's more people from 1960 in the Hall of Fame than there is from 1920.
When does an opinion on a...
Hold on, Intangible. So did you see him beat 20 champions, or is that just what the newspaper clippings told you? Just like they went 75 rounds, Mark.
I mean, I see Roberto Duran, yeah, have a resume of 71-1 against lightweights, but then I also seen him weigh in as a featherweight against featherweights, and people changed that to being 71-1 against lightweight opponents when most of it was actually featherweights. And then I've actually seen the fact that he only had 18 fights at lightweight, and somehow having 18 fights at lightweight makes you the greatest lightweight of all time. So he only fought in 18 fights at lightweight. He never even defended an undisputed title. He won the title and then he moved up and he did stuff in other divisions, but that doesn't prove it in one specific division. That doesn't prove anything. Now, yeah, what a newspaper says, okay, that's well and good. What about the ones where I actually have seen footage and I have seen many fights and I have actually seen many rounds of different fighters, i.e. Langford, where I have seen and do actually have 40 fights of his, which is more than certain fighters even now. Because in the modern era, you don't have access to 30 fights of all these ATGs that are walking around now because a lot of them weren't even televised. So I don't even know, man.
Yeah. Also,
I got all I know is I got Abe Lincoln beating the shit out of Jack Johnson. Okay.
Yeah. I gotta ask you this, Mark. I gotta ask you this. With that sentiment and what you said, what if somebody like let's not even say Johnny Boy, but if I make a statement about a current fighter and I give my opinion on him, and then a historian, not you particularly, or any historian comes behind me, but then tries to correct me on my opinion because of this guy's resume and that guy, that's not valid either. And it kind of goes along with your same sentiment. You can give your opinion and utilize the older guy, but you can't correct the man and tell him, no, that's not necessarily true. Because
but hold on.
Not you, Mark. I'm saying you in general.
You in general. What's you in general?
This is what Intangible basically just did to Johnny Boy. He kind of corrected him instead of saying, well, my opinion on it is this. Okay. And he used the history to correct him. It's not correct. It's not correct either way. And even with your sentiment, it's not correct either way. It's just an opinion. So as a historian, whoever the historian may be, if a guy speaking on the current situation makes a statement, you can give your opinion and validate it with the history, but you cannot correct him or say that he's wrong. No, not necessarily, because his opinion can be valid as well. That's all I'm saying.
Now, let me just ask this question. How does a perception of a fighter's skill set invalidate their resume?
I don't think it does. But that
alleged resume, you're reading shit off of newspaper clippings from 200 years ago. Alleged resume. Alleged resume. First of all, these dudes that you're bringing up from 100 years ago, those are alleged resumes. You weren't at the fight. Your grandfather wasn't at the fight. Nobody was at the fight. You couldn't watch it on TV. You couldn't hear it on the radio. You had to have been there.
Yes, there were people at the fight. There were people illustrating multiple newspapers. Well, even if you want to say, try to invalidate newspapers, there had to have been people there to illustrate the fight on multiple newspapers in order to illustrate the result.
Watching the fight?
I wasn't there watching the fight.
Yeah,
but if I can go by decorated boxing writers' illustrations and opinions on the fight, that means it probably happened.
Look,
I want to, D, before you go, can I say one point?
Yeah, go ahead, Mark. Go ahead.
Right? I just want to say this. The whole idea of this stuff, right? Somebody coming up and correcting somebody. On what? What is it exactly? Intangible corrected him on what? What did Intangible correct him on?
I really don't exactly remember what was said exactly. If y'all can remind me, but I just
it was post following the statement. Hold on, it was
the tone. Okay, I'm not getting literal in the words because I know you do that, and I don't remember, and I'm pretty sure you do. But it's sometimes a tone, Mark. It's not all about how you say or exactly what you say. Sometimes when you respond with a certain tone, it can impose a certain idea, bro. And
I get that. But here's a victimization though. At the same point, Intangible rates certain fighters a certain way, right? No offense. No, let me say something. No offense to Johnny Boy, but Johnny Boy doesn't have any fucking say in how another person does their criteria. Johnny can have his, just like Intangible can have his. If Intangible decides to correct Johnny and Johnny decides to correct Intangible, that's all well and good. I don't correct anybody when it comes to their own ratings. I do not. I don't give a fucking shit. I have my own. But I regularly get people desecrating me because I have a certain fighter ranked somewhere and then they decide to discredit it based on this, and this because they deem it to be different to their own opinion. Whilst I don't do that to them. I don't give a fucking shit. If you rate fucking Roberto Duran #1 in the world all time, all well and good. That's your opinion, and I've got my own. I do not argue those opinions. What I don't like is when somebody will then go and tell me I can't rank a certain fighter how I want to do so based on my criteria and my research, which is taking me literally 20 years. For me to gather thousands upon thousands upon thousands of things. People think it's just box rec. Bruh, I've got 29,000 articles on my fucking computer in boxes, everything. I have fucking books I've been writing for 3.5 years. And somebody thinks they have the fucking right to tell me that I can't fucking go and do something my way? Why? Because it doesn't appease them. Because it doesn't appease them, yeah, I won't show the criticism back. And then I get pissed off about it because it's a continuous thing. Oh, this guy is shit, and 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 this guy is shit. Well, how do you know he's good? Well, how do you know he's shit? How the fuck do you know? You can go and make statements. You can go and desecrate all over it. But at the end of the day, all you're doing is spouting ignorance. I can go and I can tell you, you can have a heart attack by the time you're 42 because you're obese. I can say that to somebody. Doesn't mean it's true. Doesn't mean it's not. I can make a lot of fucking assumptions about a lot of things. But at the end of the day, all it is ignorance. It's annoying. Why can't people just fucking enjoy the sport? Why do people have to desecrate all over each other? At the start of this, Johnny Boy said it's either this channel or this channel or this channel shitting on things, and then directly afterwards spent the last 30 minutes, he shot on me, he shot on Intangible, he shot on Devin, he shot on Anthony, he shot on the entire fucking landscape of boxing, shot on the past landscape, and said that, oh, these fighters aren't fighting guys like they did back in the 80s. Well, guys in the 80s weren't having 225 fights against fucking everybody and God knows who else. Whether you could see it or not, we do know the fights fucking happened.
So
and I do know people who... No, hold on, let me finish my statement. And we do know people who've actually been at the fights. I've spoken to people who've actually seen guys like fucking Ray Robinson fight, who've actually seen Harry Greb fight. Like, Hugh Weir.
So I guess my question, I guess my question is this. Well, my thing is this, bro. All I know is this. All I made is I made a little video last night saying happy birthday to Roberto Duran, the greatest lightweight of all time. And I got fucking 6 people. Well, what about this guy from 200 years ago? What about this guy? What about the fuck off, bro? You didn't watch none of them boys fight. You didn't watch none of them boys. Your grandfather didn't watch none of them boys fight, dog. No, you didn't. You weren't there. You haven't seen them fight.
So
all you can do is go off their alleged resume from newspaper clippings and say, oh, well, this guy had 400 and fucking.
Why does it matter to you? Why does it matter to you? Why does it matter to you, bro?
It doesn't. It doesn't matter.
Then why do you
doesn't
always
matter.
fucking...
It doesn't
No,
matter.
hold on.
Hold on. All I'm
Everything-
saying is this. When I say happy birthday, Roberto Duran, the greatest lightweight of all time, don't go over here and fucking throw some dude from 1890 in my face.
Okay, now let me ask you a question. Did I?
I didn't say you. You're the one getting
No, hold on. You fucking attacked me before I even spoke. You attacked anything. No. I went after you said that this guy did this and he shits all over you and Intangible. That fucking pissed me off.
Barbados Joe Walcott. How about
that? Well, fuck you, bro.
Yeah.
Straight up, fuck you. You're a pussy.
Oh,
that's what you are. You're a pussy. And
you saw Johnny, let it go.
Okay. All right.
Hold on, Smoke. Mark, you upset, fam. I know when you get like this, it ain't no stopping. So I ain't kicking you off the panel, bro. I'm gonna let you calm down behind stage. I don't want y'all doing this. Like, it's getting out of hand, Mark. So just calm down a second, bro. I'm not kicking you out, but I don't want y'all doing this. Listen, here's the thing. And I tried to play mediator, but the shit didn't work. This is a fucking classic argument. This happens. And it ain't just Mark and Johnny Boy or Intangible and Johnny Boy. I've heard this shit. Listen, I've been watching this sport since I was 5. I'm 44, so do the fucking math. I have heard this shit time and time again. This same argument. History versus modern. This shit will never die. Okay, but here's the thing. Here's my thing on this. Even with the newspaper clippings, Intangible, because I heard what you said and I can appreciate that. But let's be realistic about every fucking thing. The media of this fucking country and most countries have always been miscued and corrupt. So when Johnny Boy says all you have is media clippings and this, that, and the third, Intangible, don't be naive, bro. The media has always utilized what's called suggestive journalism. So they put these reports out, and this is a common known fact. And if you don't know this, do your research on this, because this don't got shit to do with boxing. It has to do with the fucking world. The media has always used what's called suggestive journalism. So they will put reports, articles, and all of this out with facts, but they list it in a way to suggest something. It's called suggestive journalism. Okay? So again, it's validation in what Johnny Boy is saying. Just because you got your fucking articles and your newspaper clippings doesn't mean that it's all the way true. This is a classic argument, bro. We can go back and forth on this shit. All of y'all, both Johnny Boy and Tangible Mark, y'all can go back and forth on this shit for like the next 7 hours. Guaranteed, and I've heard it. So like, let's not start fucking disrespecting each other, because y'all bros and shit, and y'all be chilling the fuck day, bro. So
first of all, happy birthday. To add a little bit more positivity to this, happy birthday to Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez, the legend. Yeah. Second off,
you would have killed Jimmy.
Look, this is your opinion. These are your opinions on the fact that maybe these fights were possibly swayed because of how the media portrayed it. Why should I take an ignorant stance on these fights?
Okay,
and how they were portrayed?
I did not suggest that, bro. I did not suggest that any fights were swayed. What I'm saying is, listen in the context. If Johnny Boy says all you have is your newspaper articles and clippings, only thing I'm saying is you can't put 100% faith in that. I didn't say they use it to sway fights or none of that. I said you cannot act like that's 100% correct because you got articles and shit. That's all I said, Intangible.
Can I jump in? Can I jump in?
Let me just say this one thing. All I wanted to know is how many full fights of Benny Leonard have you seen? How many 15 full fights have you seen? That's all I wanted to know. That's all I wanted to know. I rest my case.
Yeah. So I just wanted to give some greetings to the panel. Very interesting. Peace to UD, peace to the chat, and just some context when we're doing this whole thing about comparing different generations to one another, right? When you take a division like that's part of the original 8 that has a rich tradition that goes all the way back, and you say that they're the best in all time, then that means that you're actually evoking all of those fighters from back then also. Like, it's not, if you'd have said he's the best in modern era, then you wouldn't hear about 100 years ago, right? Yeah. And then also, when it comes to comparing different eras, you have to understand that the rules have changed with glove size. Like, even neutral corners have changed. Like, guys used to stand over another dude and just whoop his ass, waiting for him to get off of one knee, right? So there's all sorts of just minute changes that changes the entire picture of how you can compare one guy to another. It is much easier to compare guys within eras versus outside of eras, even within the same division.
That's true.
Yep.
That's true.
Atlas. Oh wait, let me go back to that. That's a fact, Smoke. That was well said. My bad. Oregon. What is this?
Organic fitness.
Organic fitness. Yeah, he threw me for a loop for a second. He said, "Thanks, D. Speaking wisdom, facts and some opinions are more enlightened than others. The facts, eyes living in the arse. I think he said have opinions about light and good smells. You always have to prove the media. You do. The media, listen, Unbiased said this before, and he and I totally agree. When it comes to the media, I question every fucking thing when it comes to the media. Everything. And if you don't, then you slipping. That goes for anybody on any fucking subject, bro. Life, government, sports. It don't matter. If you don't fucking question the media, it's you that's slipping. You. Trust and believe that shit.
Especially if you're going to look at boxing 100 years ago, because what you'll find is they're all just racist dudes who are jacking black fighters the entire time anyway. Like, exactly. Whatever.
You can't put 100% faith on no fucking information you get from the media. I don't want to hear that shit, bro. The media has been corrupt since the existence of it. They put the media in play for corruption. The elitists. Do you understand this? I understand this shit. The media was put in play. It was put in play to fool people. Period. I don't give a fuck. This ain't about boxing. This ain't got shit to do with boxing. The whole fucking establishment of the media was put in play for deception. Understand that. That's a fucking fact. So I don't want to hear shit about no 100-year-ago fighters or nothing. This is about the fucking media and the elitists. And if you don't know that, go do your fucking research on it. And that's a fact.
Do you really believe somebody won 75 rounds ever? No. Yeah. No.
I'm sure I do. Why not?
You're going against the stances of people who were there. The tons of media outlets who reported it
75 rounds
that were none of them were in conflict that the fights actually occurred from
so then. Did you watch all 75 rounds or one full fight of any of these motherfuckers? No, you haven't.
I've seen I've seen a full hour clipping. There is a full hour clipping of 42 rounds between Joe Gans and Battling Nelson on YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Was Charlie Chaplin the referee?
I don't know.
But here's the thing. Like, I want you to take this point, yeah? Intangible has seen stuff and Johnny's continuing to shit on it.
Yeah.
He's just shitting all over it. And yet there's people can say one thing, but Johnny's allowed to just shit all over it. I don't get this.
That's not the case, Mark, but it's like I said, Johnny Boy points and his ideas are valid, and so are intangibles. So I'm not allowing anything. I ain't saying Johnny Boy's right either. I just said, when I tried to play the median, I just said this. Johnny Boy has valid points, and Intangible and Mark has valid points. If Johnny Boy wishes to continuously shit on those points, that's Johnny Boy's opinion, bro. But I'm just saying, in my the way I see it, my perspective is I agree with all of y'all, bro, because it's so many variables involved. And just like Smoke said, if you really want to differentiate, then for both, because Mark, not you, but I have heard historians not differentiate old school boxing versus modern day. So if you really want to differentiate, if you really want to make a valid statement, then say the best in modern day or the best in old, but that don't always happen. And then these arguments happen. So Mark, you may do it, but that's not how it always goes down, bro.
But I never even said the best. I just used the word great.
That's what you do. But everybody else ain't Mark. And a lot of historians don't do that, Mark. They don't. They use their information and what they know about history, and they take that as if it's law. And on the other side, a lot of modern day, like this fucking El Jefe, and I'm not saying that Johnny Boy is nowhere close to that idiot, but, well, El Jefe, I'm not going to call him an idiot, but the foolishness he says, but it's all about modern day boxing. So you have it on both sides. This is why this is a long-lasting argument, and ain't nobody on open perspective as you are, Mark, when these people have these arguments. And I agree with you. Yes, Johnny Boy shitting over the shit Intangible say. That don't make it valid. His you know, it doesn't make it valid because what Intangible is saying, he has validity to it. But when you start telling me because these articles, and I ain't going for that shit, I will tell you that right now. You miss me with that bullshit with the media. Now you can, Intangible, I'll go with you with people who were there and they give their reports, and I'll go with that to some extent as well, because people have their own biases. So you can't put 100% faith in any of this. You can say, well, Johnny Boy, what about the people who were there? Well, listen to Paul Malignaggi talk about a fight when he hasn't gambled on it, then when he talks about a fucking fight when he has gambled on it, Intangible. So people have their own biases. So just because people were there, they could have seen the fight differently, Intangible.
You know what, guys?
No way to prove anything on either side. And as Smoke said, the only way to differentiate without all of this argument back and forth is to say modern day boxing or old school boxing. But when people don't do that or try to challenge each other utilizing either or, then we will have these long arguments. And it's just that simple, bro.
You know what, guys? You know what? I just wanted to say this real quickly. You brought up Abe Lincoln would beat like Jack Johnson. Abe Lincoln was never president. I never saw him. My grandfather didn't see him as president, so he was not president.
Maybe
I didn't see footage of it, and I didn't see him.
Maybe you wouldn't. I mean, I'm just saying, dog. Just don't. Every time I fucking give somebody their props, don't fucking whip out some dude from 1807 trying to, oh no, well, what about this guy? Fuck, you didn't watch him fight. Your daddy didn't watch him fight. Your granddaddy didn't watch him fight. There was no TV. There was no nothing. You had to have been there physically.
Jay Cooley said you can't compare boxing from then now.
So every time I give Campbell or Roberto Duran or Muhammad Ali some props, don't whip out some fucking dude from 1903, bro. Don't do it.
Who did?
I mean,
I'm asking you that question.
Didn't he bring up old school boxing?
When?
There was like 6 people last night because I tried.
Yeah, but you're going at me and Intangible, and you're disrespecting me and Intangible. You said that this guy did this. Let me know. You did. You said this guy did this, and this it shits all over you two because you don't know what you're talking about, right? You actually did say that, right? But what I want to say is,
I didn't call you.
What the hell?
So who
I called you that afterwards. And you've called me a lot of things too. So let's not get it twisted. I'm not in a good space with you. You're not in a good space with me.
Respecting you because I'm not.
No, you did. You disrespected me when it came to boxing.
When I tried giving somebody some props. Well, what about this guy?
Yeah, but you're talking about something. Listen, you're
Hall of Famers, and they all went 75.
Bro, what I did after what you did, when I didn't criticize, I've never criticized anything to do with any of your lists, any of your content. Straight up, I don't care. I don't care how you rate people. Why do you care how we have it? Because other people say things. Other people, not me or Intangible. Why you go at me and Intangible over what we do because of other people?
I mean, I started off joking, talking shit about Benny Leonard. You guys are the one who got mad about it. I really don't give a fuck.
Look, Mark, I got a question for you, Mark. This is about Unbiased's comment. I got a question for you.
Benny Leonard sucks.
He says Haney is going to. He feels Haney. Hold on, there it is. He said Haney is going to watch Campbell. I feel. What's your opinion on that, Mark?
Good luck to him. I mean, it's a good fight. I favor Campbell. I think he's slightly more proved. He's been in there with better level of opposition. Haney hasn't fought anybody above the level of Zaur Abdullayev yet, and we don't even know what level he is. We know that Zaur Abdullayev beat a very old, past if faded journeyman version of Hank Lundy. If Haney can do it, all credit to him. I don't think he's going to wash him. I think it's going to be awkward. Campbell's long. He's a southpaw. He knows how to fight in the pocket. He can shuffle off the feet. Haney tends to circle rather than fight in and out. And if Campbell starts to feel that and catch him with that lead shot, that lead jab constantly, and then get him on that short end hook when Haney tries to exchange with him, could be an awkward night. But yeah, Haney could win. We don't know how good Devin is yet. No idea. But I do know how good Campbell is. I do know how good Campbell is. I know that he's very solid and he's hard to beat and he's tricky. I don't know if Haney is that there yet. He hasn't beaten an Yvonne Mendy. He hasn't taken 4 or 5 rounds off Loma. He hasn't gone into a split decision with Linares yet.
He is Perez.
Well, yeah, but at the same point, yeah, Haney could beat him if he's as good as if he fights as good as he did against Zaur Abdullayev against these guys, and he's able to prove that going up. Then sure, he can beat him. I just don't know yet. I'm not sold.
What do you think, Johnny? Haney Campbell.
It's a good fight. I mean, I got Benny Leonard beating both of them though, but it's a good fight though. It's a good fight. It's a good fight. Should be competitive. Unfortunately, it'll never happen.
You don't think it's happening?
Nah, it won't happen.
What do you think, Intangible? Haney versus Campbell.
I favor Luke Campbell to win the fight. I just haven't really seen it with Haney, honestly. Something about fucking spam call. I just really haven't seen it with him. You know, he's fought unproven competition. You know, people are saying that he's going to stop Campbell, but Haney doesn't have any power. He has to overcommit and overreach in order for him to land anything big. And he just has a lot of trouble being able to disrupt, being able to get off that power and being able to pull back and actually get momentum on his shots. And I think Campbell's extension is going to force Haney to come forward, and I just don't think he's good at it.
Yeah, my opinion on this fight, which I gave it a couple of days ago, Black and Brown, he's one that you're talking about, Intangible. Haney stops Campbell. Okay, my opinion on this fight, and I gave this opinion before. I picked Luke Campbell to win this fight. I picked Luke Campbell to win this fight by decision. And look, Abdullayev, this impressive knockout that Devin Haney got, Abdullayev, and a lot of, not you guys, but a lot of people, okay, baby, a lot of people lean on the Abdullayev fight when Devin Haney knocked this dude out. This dude was 10-7 when Devin Haney knocked him out. Totally unproven, bro. That dude ain't been cracked on the chin by nobody. How the fuck we know what Abdullayev's chin was about? Not only that, when Devin Haney caught Abdullayev was coming in for a punch, bro. So that meant it was momentum. He was coming into that punch that Devin Haney laid him out with. That's one of those cases like when Larte hit Errol Spence and wobbled him. When Marquez knocked Pacquiao out. Because they're coming for a punch and they get caught, which means they're coming into that. That's what the fuck happened with Abdullayev. So I ain't assessing Devin Haney or acting like he got all of this pop because of Abdullayev. Devin Haney is not a knockout guy. He's not shown the propensity to be a knockout guy. So how the fuck does he just go in there and stop Luke Campbell? No. Where do we get this from? That he's just going to go stop Luke Campbell. Where the fuck does that come from? Who has Devin Haney fought on the level anywhere fucking close to Luke Campbell to say that he's going to stop Luke Campbell. See, we sit up here and always talk about Deontay Wilder and the level of competition he fought and why he stopped guys. But then we sit up here and say fucking Devin Haney's going to stop a Campbell. How the fuck do we know? He ain't fought that level of competition. So if it's safe to say Wilder has to move up the level of competition before we decide who he's going to knock out, then why can't we do it with Haney? Tell me how that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We can't say fucking Haney's going to knock a goddamn thing out. That motherfucker ain't proving shit against high-level competition. So Luke Campbell is much better than anybody Haney has fought. Is that true or not?
Yes.
Right. He's much better than any fucking body Haney has fought. Also, the best guy at 135, Lomachenko, Luke Campbell, had a pretty impressive showing against him. No, he didn't win. He didn't get demolished, though, did he? No. So we just going to assume that Haney knocks him out? I want to, Black and Brown, I'm going to give you this link if you want to click it, and I want you to come explain why you feel that Haney knocks Campbell out. What if Haney's shown you, or what has Haney done to say he knocks Luke Campbell out? Because we've seen Luke Campbell in the ring with Lomachenko. We've seen him in the ring with Lomachenko. We ain't seen Devin Haney in the ring with nowhere close to that type of competition.
Haney reminds me sort of an orthodox Devin Alexander.
Yeah, okay, see, Lawrence, that's true, but again, okay, he said, D, what about the Morgan fight? Pedraza couldn't stop him, but Haney damn near knocked him out. But that's Pedraza, right? We talking about Luke Campbell, and we talking about Haney. So I get what you're saying. Lawrence, but still, that's not going. So, Lawrence, with what you saying here, does that tell you Haney's going to knock Campbell out? Be honest, bro. Because, Lawrence, I know you a thinker. So I get what you're saying, but is this enough for you, Lawrence, to say Haney's going to knock Campbell out? Answer me that, Lawrence. Because I don't think it is, and I don't think you think it is. I'm just saying we can't sit up here and say that Haney's going to knock Campbell out. I don't even think he's going to beat him. And I'm pretty sure if they do fight, Champ will put that fight on the prediction league. And I'm telling y'all now, I'm picking Campbell by decision. I ain't even going to change it up. I think Campbell wins that. I ain't convinced of Haney yet. I mean, all we have of Haney, in my opinion, is the same thing we have of Tank Davis, the eye test. Now, somebody debate me on that. All we have is the exact same thing we have of Tank Davis, and that's the eye test. And in the defense of Tank Davis, we have more. We actually have more from Tank than we have from Haney as far as validation and proof. At least Tank Davis beat Pedraza. Has Devin Haney beat anybody on the level of Pedraza?
I actually think Tank Davis beats Haney.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying, though. But we don't have no proof for fucking Haney. We don't have nothing of him. Thank you, Prime Fighting Champion. That I will accept. 50-50 fight, that I accept. We can't fucking sit up here and say Haney's knocking Campbell out, bro. That's not, I can't go for that one.
I wouldn't rule it out, though. I wouldn't rule it out. And let me explain why. Like, and look, somebody saying, picking Luke Campbell, Haney has never fought somebody like Luke Campbell. We can all agree to that. The issue that I have with like Luke Campbell is in my opinion, he's just, he's okay of a fighter. You know what I'm saying? His footwork is good, but you know what I mean? He does get tagged a lot. He came back in the Linares fight, but then again, who is Linares? You know what I mean? I feel like Haney would, beat up Linares too. So, I could see why somebody would say that Haney potentially could stop Luke Campbell, because I feel like Haney is going to be tagging Luke Campbell up. It only takes it's only so long before you eventually crumble, right? But I would definitely pick UD, but I wouldn't rule out a stoppage.
Right.
I wouldn't rule it out.
This is the thing. And listen to what I just said. I didn't say we can rule it out or it couldn't happen. I say you can't just sit up here and say Haney stops Campbell, and you just agree with that.
You know,
You can't you can't just say he's
Yeah.
I want to say this
Yeah,
though.
I would pick UD, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Campbell,
But by the fact that you would pick UD, do you agree
Yeah.
that you can't just say he stops him, bro?
Campbell
Yeah,
though,
I wouldn't pick it.
Campbell has decent punch resistance though. The guy has faced some really good punchers, like for example, like Jorge Linares. Jorge Linares is a guy with good power and very fast hands.
Yeah, now
he's also fought Lomachenko, and Lomachenko is a very hard puncher. He doesn't have one punch knockout power, but he has good power, and when he hits you, it does hurt.
At 135, Lomachenko's power is really not all that. He's more so. It's not concussive. I've never been punched by the guy, so I can't say he doesn't hit like shit. But it's more break you down. Like that's why he dropped all those guys late, because he had to break them down first. So I mean, I wouldn't bring up Lomachenko as a puncher at 135. I mean, I wouldn't do that. Linares got some decent pop. You know, I mean, his power's not really all that neither. I mean, I don't know, man. Haney looks like he's getting his power.
The thing is, the speed on Lomachenko.
Let me respond to this right quick. Now, Black and Brown, you know you part of see your boys, you already know. And you already know you part of the Speaking Mind Sports Talk family. And you've been on this panel, and you're always welcome on this panel. I'll put the link in the chat for you to come up here and explain yourself. But I'm biased jumped on. You didn't even click the link. Now you say Teofimo fanboys stay hating on Haney. Now, Black and Brown, you know, because we done been through this before. You was on Mr. Two Hands channel when I went off on the dude. I don't even fucking know who he is. Now, you ain't say D. Jefferson, and I get it. But me and you done had this whole Devin Haney Teofimo thing before, dog. And you did not click that link. So, whether it was suggestive or not, you know fucking well ain't no fanboy of nobody over here, bro. I don't fanboy. I fanboy for boxing. Okay? And hold on, I ain't finished. Hold up. And I have receipts on my channel giving Teofimo flame. Fanboys don't give their fighters flame. So kill that noise if the suggestion was that I'm Teofimo fanboy. Kill that shit right now. Go ahead, Unbiased.
I was gonna say, Devin Haney looks like he's coming into his power. I mean, he's 21 years old. His last couple fights, he broke that dude's face. Santiago, he dropped him. Didn't he? He stopped Santiago, right? I feel like he did.
Yeah.
No. Did he?
Yeah.
By a corner stoppage.
Yeah, he was putting.
No, not Santiago. I got him confused with Abdul Live. He didn't stop Santiago. He dropped him.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he dropped him.
I don't know what the fuck.
Devin
Haney's a power puncher, bro. We can assume.
No. I'm saying he's coming into his power. I'm not saying he's no Teofimo. That's no.
Right, but even coming into his power, what is it going to be? Shakur's coming into his power. We don't know if he'll be a power puncher or not yet, do we?
No, I think Shakur got some good pop though, because he's been stopping his last people.
That's not my point. I said we don't know what the power is going to be. Just because they're coming into their man strength, they don't say that, okay, well, he coming into his man strength. He going to start laying motherfuckers out. It don't mean that, bro. You know that, Unbiased.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my whole thing is this. We cannot say that Haney goes in there and knocks Luke Campbell out. Haney has done nothing to prove that he will do that to Luke Campbell, and Luke Campbell has done too much to prove that Haney won't do that to him. Now, we can say that.
Haney did have issues with Santiago, though, and Santiago is like a poor man's dollar store version of Luke Campbell.
Nah. Santiago had way more read.
Luke Campbell beat Santiago, Unbiased. Come on, man.
I don't even know about that. Luke Campbell out here losing it to. Hold on, D. Luke Campbell out here losing to Ivan Mendy. Like, come on, bro. I don't know if he just go in there and beat Santiago.
How did Luke Campbell look in that fight with Loma?
He looked okay. He looked.
That was against Loma.
Yeah, but he's outsized at this weight class.
He's still Lomachenko. And do you consider him the best at 135?
Loma?
Yeah.
I think Tio knocks him out. So,
well, okay. Outside of my boy, do you consider him the best at 135?
Yeah.
You consider him the most skilled at 135 for sure, right?
Yeah.
That's who Campbell did a good job against. So, and then you say he got knocked out by Yvonne Mendy, right?
Yeah. No, he didn't get knocked out. He just lost.
Okay.
Yeah, he lost.
He lost to Yvonne Mendy, but we went through this before. Fighters have bad days. We can't take that Yvonne Mendy fight and say Haney's gonna knock him out.
Yeah, but hey, I mean, both. To be honest, bro, Luke Campbell and Haney, their wins, neither one of them got good wins. Yeah, Luke Campbell went in there. He made a good account for himself in the Linares fight and the Lomachenko fight. But
Darley's Perez.
Yeah, well, that's okay.
You can click the link to and come explain to us how. Cause see, like Bias is up here and he gave a good comment that the possibility is there. But when you say he stops him, explain to me why. That's a definite that Campbell gets stopped. Because you and Black and Brown saying that, but y'all ain't telling me why. I've given you reasons why he wouldn't, or why I don't believe he would. But
Haney's a big guy too.
But look, see here it is, AOPS. When I don't know who it was, I think PFC, Prime Fighting Champion. When he put the comment up there, and I put it on the screen, AOPS, Prime Fighting Champion said this is a 50-50 fight. And I said, facts, I can deal with that. Why the hell would I bet on a 50-50 fight, AOPS? That's a dumb bet. Because anybody could win.
Depending on the
Haney's first taste.
If Devin Haney has wide odds in favor of him, I think betting on Campbell is a good option.
I just don't see how Campbell could win. I don't know, man.
I don't want no smoke bye Mr. American Pie. I'm going to get that later.
I do think he can win.
Hey, I was talking, fam. I'm going to the BDA Kumite later. So I'm going to get some smoke there. Go ahead, Intangible. You just cut me off and shit, nigga.
Yeah, man, my bad. I do think he can win by forcing Haney to come forward. Because the thing with a lot of modern American prospects is they're very good on the back foot, but once they're forced to come forward, they go from A level to C level.
And
I see that.
I don't see that with Haney
prospects. I see that with Haney. I see that with Colbert. I see that with Stephen Fulton. I see them with all kinds of dudes.
I don't see that with Haney.
Hey, I'll say he stops him because no white boy beating Haney.
I saw
don't see that with Colbert neither. You tripping?
I saw
with Colbert.
I saw.
Well, hold on. What fight was Colbert turning into a C- fighter? What fight was that?
He was having trouble with Jezreel Corrales. Jezreel
Corrales.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, he's a good fighter.
And he's dirty.
With Devin Haney's lack of seasoning, same with Chris Colbert, I think that's going to affect him.
Chris Colbert did better with him, you know what I'm saying, than the majority of people did. So that was a good fight with Chris Colbert, and that gave him his seasoning, and he passed the test, in my opinion.
I'm saying Haney hasn't got it though.
No, this is his first. And I agree. This is Haney's first test. We could all agree to that. I think he's gonna pass though with flying colors. That's just me.
I'm biased. Hold on. I got this. I want you to answer this question. That's a good question. Boxing Virus. Boxing Virus. Unbiased says, what does outsize have to do with Campbell hiding his offense and countering punches? Loma making bite on every feint.
What do you mean? Like making Lomachenko bite on every?
Yeah, I wouldn't say every feint, but he did make Loma bite on some feints, and I mean he's making a point.
He did.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So he's making the point on because you was like he was outsized. He was just showing some of the other skills that Campbell utilized that didn't have anything to do with Loma being outsized. That's all he was doing, and I said that was kind of valid.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm gonna be honest, bro. How many rounds did Luke Campbell really win?
I thought he won 4 rounds in the fight.
I gave him about 4. I gave him about 4.
Okay, so is that really competitive?
No, but that was
Yes,
Loma though.
an 8-4 fight is definitely a competitive fight.
And the 8 rounds that Loma won, did he wash him? Unbiased? Come on, be real.
None
There
besides
were
the
some-
knockdown round.
There were some rounds where Loma was just dominant.
Even when Loma was pouring it on Campbell, Campbell was still holding his own in those rounds.
Listen.
Yeah, he snuck in some counters, but with Lomachenko, you're gonna do that because he's right there to be hit.
True. It was some rounds that Loma did dominate, but he's supposed to do that. And he won the fight, and that's why he won the fight. But all the 8 rounds he won, he didn't dominate, and Campbell won about 4 rounds. That's a competitive fight to me. To me, maybe I'm looking at it wrong. That's a competitive fight. He didn't go in the fight and get washed. He won rounds, and he fought well in the rounds. In some of the rounds, he lost. He did not.
I'll agree that I don't think Loma washed him. I won't say that.
He didn't wash him.
He didn't wash him. But we, after the fight, we were like, yeah, Lomachenko definitely won that.
Yeah, it wasn't no argument.
No question. Yeah,
he won the fight. But I'm saying because it was no argument on the decision. That's what I'm saying. He had to have had some clear rounds in there. You don't agree with that? Like that's why I won't really no argument.
I think
because he has some very clear rounds in there. We know he won.
Yeah, and I'll say this about Luke Campbell, right? I think Luke Campbell has gotten better since he lost to Yvonne Mendy. I'll say that. You know what I'm saying? And no, excuse me. Since he lost to Linares, I'll say that. He got better, right? He even avenged his loss with Yvonne Mendy. I think the training with Josh Taylor actually helped him, but I still see Devin beating him.
Yeah. I mean, see, again, when Prime Fighting Champion put up 50-50 fight, I said I have no problem with that. So if people pick Devin Haney to win, fine. If people say that Devin Haney will win and he could possibly stop him, fine. But when people say Campbell getting stopped, no. You can't just determine that. That's no.
The issue is Lomachenko comes forward, he's highly aggressive. Haney picks his shots, counters you. Like the whole feigning thing, I get that point, but Lomachenko and Devin Haney fight completely different.
I agree with that.
Okay, so Prime Fighting Champion says this. Haney is not going to throw as many punches as Lomo. I don't know. Campbell might take it. What do you think about that statement? You think Haney gonna get in there and throw as many punches as Lomachenko?
I think Haney's going to pick his shots more than Lomachenko.
Do you think Haney's going to get in there and throw as many punches as Lomachenko? Because I know that picking shots, I get.
But that has nothing to do with winning the fight.
I know it, but okay, hold on.
We just said that they don't fight alike, so why would he?
Let me say this then. So you think Haney is going to pick his shots well, right?
Yeah.
Loma don't pick his shots well?
Loma's more aggressive.
Does Loma pick his shots well, bro?
Yeah, he does.
He's a fighter, arguably, in this fucking sport, my nigga. So if we're gonna say that Haney can do something,
of course Lomachenko picks it. Lomachenko and Devin Haney don't fight alike. Devin Haney's on the back foot. He is slick. Lomachenko is more accessible to get hit because he's right in your face. Yes, he does. He sets up his shots too. I think a little bit better than Devin Haney. But what my point is, Haney's most likely going to pot shot this dude until he breaks him down. And if he does end up stopping him, he's going to break him down first. That's what he's going to do. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So he's going to pop shot him and break him down the same way he did Santiago, right?
No, I don't think he's stopping him. I think it's UD.
Oh, well.
But I wouldn't. Like I said, I wouldn't.
My only point that we can't say he's going to fucking stop him. Because this is the only thing I'm arguing about, bro. That's it. And you have validated my point about 3 times over already.
But that was never my argument.
My only argument. We cannot just fucking say Hobbs and Black and Brown, Haney stops him. We can't say that. And I'm biased. Yeah, he's kind of saying that it's possible and he leans toward Haney. But he ain't agree with y'all motherfuckers neither.
Yeah.
Because that's my only point, bro. And that's the only point
I would pick UD. I mean, I'm being honest. I would pick UD. Yeah, but I wouldn't rule it out, man. I'm not high on Luke Campbell, bro. I'm just
Well,
not.
I ain't never ruled it out either. And I'm not high on Devin Haney. I think he's good. Matter of fact, I think he's one of the best young guns out there. Okay? I will say that. But I see things in Haney that Luke Campbell will give him trouble and vice versa. So when somebody tell me it's a 50-50 fight, like Prime Fighting Champion said, fair point. But when somebody tells me Haney's going to stop him, and that's it, not a fair point, in my opinion. Not a fair point. When you say that you're going to pick him by unanimous decision and somebody say, no, he gets stopped, it ain't a fair point to you either, fam. Yeah, it's possible, but you can't just say that Haney stops him.
I can't think of any prospects to root for over Loma, so for the time being, in the meantime, I'm a Lomachenko fanboy.
Oh, I don't think you're a fanboy because they're prospects and Loma's proven. So if you don't pick a prospect over him, that don't make you a fanboy. I'm fucking Teofimo fan. I say Loma may edge that fight. I say may because I'm still doing study on this. I'm trying everything I can. I want to go for my boy, though. I probably will. I don't know, man. I don't know. I just the other day I talked to Senior, bro. Let me tell you something. I don't know. I'm biased. You might be right, dog. You might be right about this Teofimo fight, bro.
Oh yeah, I know.
I'll give.
Hey, listen, D, you don't gotta convince me. I know I'm right about that. I'm just waiting to do my victory laps. That's it. When it happens, that's it. Doing my victory laps.
That's how I am with my picks. Fuck that, nigga. You ain't gotta tell me nothing. Black and Brown, you don't finally click that link. Then you tell me, nigga, why you say Haney stops him. I want to know. What is Haney?
Hey, my headphones are dead. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we hear you clear. We hear you clear.
All right. So what is the huge difference between a unanimous decision and a TKO in the 7th or 8th, or a guy stops him in the 9th or the 10th? What's the huge difference in a unanimous decision and a stopping the guy in the 10th round? What's the huge difference?
Here's the difference.
The method of the fight and how it went.
If somebody wins by unanimous decision, if somebody wins.
Hold on. You asked the difference. So hold on. Get the difference. The difference is, in a decision, you leaving it in the fucking judge's hand. And a stoppage, ain't no goddamn questions. The fight's over. That's a huge.
We said unanimous. We said unanimous decision. Unanimous decision, you basically dominate the entire fight. So if you're dominating the entire fight, you can't just take a dude out in the 10th round. There's not that big of a difference. You win the same way. You win dominating. It's not that big of a difference. You dominate. Either you TKO or you win a unanimous decision. It is not that big of a difference.
Black and Brown. The argument, first and foremost, I ain't even going to entertain this because the argument is not the difference in a unanimous decision and a TKO. The argument is you cannot say Devin Haney stops him. There's no definite in that. Let's stick to that. Let's stick to the context. I don't want to get
because but hold on, because unbiased says by unanimous decision, and you say that's cool. You'll accept that, but you won't accept me saying that Haney will stop him. But if he's going to win a unanimous decision, he's going to dominate the fight. So if he's dominating the fight, why can't he stop him? What's so special about Luke Campbell? What is so special about Luke Campbell that he can't be stopped? I don't get it.
Well, when Unbiased said it's possible, I said that's understandable. But when you say
don't do the
cutting off shit. Chill. I'll let you finish. Let me finish. So when Unbiased says it's possible, okay, you can accept that because that's not a definite. When you tell me, oh, he stops him, are you saying it's possible or are you saying it's definite?
It does the same thing, bro. If it's possible, it's possible. If it's possible, if it's possible, DJ, you hear yourself.
I'm not doing this because that's absolutely ridiculous. Saying something is definite and something is possible
for you to say that a unanimous.
Yo, wait. Can I?
Yo,
all right, go ahead.
Unanimous decision, absolutely.
Stop this nonsense.
Yo, A unanimous. Wait. A unanimous decision can absolutely be competitive. That does not mean one-sided. Andre Ward versus Sergey Kovalev was a unanimous decision for Andre Ward.
And intangible, and a TKO don't gotta be one-sided. So what are we talking about? It's okay for unbiased to say it's possible, and you'll accept that. But when I say that's my pick in the fight, you won't accept that.
Because you ain't crazy. Why are you using me?
You just said it's possible.
No.
But you're saying that it is possible though, right? It is possible, right, D?
Nobody denied that.
Okay, then what's so crazy about me picking that? The possibility. It's not impossible. So am I picking the impossible? D Jeff, am I picking the impossible?
No, you are just arguing and not listening to nothing. I told you to click that link and tell me why. You have not done that yet. You talked about the difference between a fucking TKO and a unanimous. You want to talk about possibilities and definites being the same, but you have not broke down the fight of why. Unbiased, what he got up here and did is nothing like what you got up in here and did. Unbiased said it's possible, and then he broke it down and told us why. I said, fair point, acceptable. I asked you to click this link, UNA to click the link and tell us why. You ain't fucking told us why. You challenging definite and possible unanimous.
Hey, that's what you want, D? That's what you want? I can do that, D. He's going to outbox him. D, that's what you want, D? He's going to outbox the old man. He's going to show his youth, and by the 6th or 7th, 8th, 9th round, he's going to end up stopping him. What do you want, D? What do you want, bro? You want that, D? What do you want, bro?
Hey, hold on. I wanted a breakdown. So you telling me your breakdown is this. He's going to bounce around him. He's going to use his youth, and he's going to stop him late. That was your breakdown.
Yeah, he's going to outbox him and stop him late. I mean, what more do you need, brother? What more do you need?
To me, what I needed was validity. And to me, that ain't validity, bro. That's not that. It's nothing valid in that. You gave me a whole bunch of opinions. That's what you just did. But
if that's what this whole thing is.
That's your breakdown, that's fine, bro. If that's your breakdown.
That's what this, hey, D Jefferson, that's what this whole thing is, bro. It's just an argument of opinions, D.
Yeah, you're right.
What are you talking about?
Yo,
what are we talking about?
Can I ask you guys something? Right. Listen, Black and Brown. Hold on. Black and Brown, listen. I just said that you were right. It's based on opinion, okay? I asked you to come up here and validate it. So my opinion on your validation is null and void. That's my opinion. That's not valid.
Okay. All right, okay, D.
Okay.
But
can I ask you guys something real quick?
D, hold on. Let me say one more thing, guys. Let me say one more thing because I'm at work. I'm going to go back to work. Listen, I didn't pick the impossible. You said it out your own mouth that it is possible. Unbiased said it's possible. This shit can happen. So I'm not picking the impossible. So my pick shouldn't be that outlandish to you to where you need me to come on and explain why I picked it. I didn't pick the impossible. You said it out your own mouth. It is possible. Unbiased said it. It is possible. I'm not picking the impossible. So it shouldn't be like, oh, this is fucking crazy outlandish. You need to come on here and explain why. Come on, bro. Come on. It's not even that hard of a pick. Haney stops Campbell in 8 rounds. That's not even a crazy pick, bro.
Check it out. Somebody else said not a technical breakdown, so it ain't just me. But okay.
I'm not. Hey, I didn't even argue that. I didn't argue that, D. I didn't argue that. If you didn't like my breakdown, that's fine. I didn't argue that. I'm not in here trying to be like a fucking boxing analyst and break every fight down. Like, I don't do that, bro. So if it wasn't a good enough breakdown for you or your chat, I really don't give a fuck.
I mean, it's not that, bro. It's just I'm saying.
Yo, can I ask you guys something real quick?
Go ahead.
What does I was just sitting here and I'm like going through Luke Campbell's fights, right? He has improved, but yes, he did catch Lomachenko with some counters, but so did Linares, so did a bunch of other people. That doesn't mean he now is great because he did that. So, people, just because Lomachenko was a pound for pound fighter and Luke Campbell was countering him, people have been countering a bunch of pound for pound fighters on our list. So it doesn't mean that those fighters are great neither. I'm just saying in general, what makes Luke Campbell so good that he would beat Devin Haney? That's my question for you guys.
Yo, Mr. Spook said something in the comments. Unanimous does not mean one-sided. All the word unanimous means is that everybody is in agreement. Okay, so people can be in agreement that something is competitive, but one person won. But that does not mean that the fight was one-sided. A split decision is where one judge is in disagreement with two other people. Okay.
All right, check it out.
So let me ask you guys.
Wait. Can you guys answer my question? What makes Luke Campbell so good?
Hey, he asked a question, and freaking Intangible went off on to something else, and now you about to go on something else. Like, let's answer the man question. Let's do that. Is that okay? Black and Brown, Intangible? Can we answer unbiased question? Not a problem?
I don't think that question was directed towards me, but you guys go ahead.
He said the panel, bro. That means you. You ain't on the panel.
Yeah, but I'm not on here capping. I'm not on here capping for fucking Luke Campbell, bro. So he's not talking to me.
Who's capping for Luke Campbell? Now I'm capping for Luke Campbell because I think Haney's gonna beat him. I mean, if he won't beat him, I'm capping.
Are you guys gonna answer unbiased question or what?
Okay, unbiased. Restate your question, though, because I just got fucking lost.
Well, okay, I was just saying, right? I mean, you said that Lomachenko is a really good fighter, and Luke Campbell was able to do this. Yes, Lomachenko is a pound-for-pound fighter, but just because you're able to counter a pound-for-pound fighter, when I could list a bunch of people that countered Lomachenko, like Salido, you know what I'm saying, and the list could. Linares, like the list could keep going. I'm saying, how does losing to Lomachenko make Luke Campbell a good fighter? I'm asking you guys, what does he do that makes him a good fighter in your opinions?
Okay, well, I'll tell you this. The first part of your question is, I'm not saying because he did this to Lomachenko, he did that to Lomachenko, it all of a sudden makes him a good fighter. What I'm saying, my perspective is this. Luke Campbell showed me skills that he has against a top fighter. Okay, he showed me this, so that tells me that he will do well against other fighters. He's shown me those skills. Devin Haney has shown me his skills against all low-level fighters, bro. So that don't give me enough. The same way you asking me what tells me that Luke Campbell will beat Haney. What the fuck tell me Haney is Luke Campbell?
Wait. Okay, so now I got now my next question for you, D, is
hold on, let them answer or let Intangible.
Well, no, because this is actually on par with what happened to Teofimo Lopez and Richard Comey.
You on the panel, nigga? Are you coming at me?
No, because you just hold on, D, because what you just said, it just made me go back to like Teofimo, because we could have said that about Teo before he fought Richard Comey, and I picked Teo to beat Richard Comey, and a lot of people that were going against me said exactly what you're saying about him. You see what I'm saying?
Okay, those people, but nigga, you've been around me long.
No, I know you know what you watch. Yeah. I'm just saying.
I broke it down and I said exactly why. And I didn't say because he's youthful and he's gonna, you know what I mean? I said exactly how he's gonna do it. And what happened on Bias? He did it exactly how I said he was gonna do it. He did it earlier, but he did it exactly how I said he was gonna do it. This is why fucking Teofimo Sr. came on and said, yeah, you see the things my son does. I look at these fucking things, bro. So I don't make these fucking oblique goddamn assessments. I need something to show me. So yeah, I agree with you in the sense that what has Campbell done to say he definitely beats him or do all this or to show that he's so great? But in flip side of that, what has Haney done? Unbiased?
What? Look, man.
Well, see, like I did with Teo,
saying that,
he just hold on, Intangible. Actually, hold on, Intangible, then you can answer my question. But I was gonna say the same thing that I did with Teo and why I felt like he knocked out Richard Comey. I mean, I could do the same thing on why I think Devin Haney beats Luke Campbell. I think he has better footwork than Luke Campbell. You know what I mean?
Yeah, almost true. And I'm gonna tell you one extreme factor of why I wouldn't go that route when it comes to Haney. Because one specific thing, Unbiased, that Teofimo showed us that Haney ain't fucking showed us for you to make that assessment with Teofimo, not Haney, that he's gonna knock somebody out. Teofimo been knocking the fuck out niggas, bro. So you
no, I'm just saying beating. Nobody said knockout though. I never said that.
No. Fuck this, nigga. When somebody tell me he gets stopped, that's what
okay. All right. Well, I never said that, but that's what I didn't say that. But Black and Brown.
I know, bro. Yeah. We sticking to the fucking context.
All right.
Man. Hey, man.
Hold on, Intangible. Hold on, because like I said, you came up here and you tried to give some validity to it. So that's why you and I are in this discussion. But let's stick to the context. It was about a definite knockout, no?
Yeah, but I never said that though.
I know, but you came up.
I'm not defending it because I didn't say it.
Okay,
So,
here we go.
I said UD. That's what I said.
Is it impossible?
And he put
Is it
No, I don't
impossible?
think it's impossible. No.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Hold on, black and brown. I'm still talking, my nigga. With Teofimo putting guys on the fucking canvas, spasming and shit, that's enough to say, oh yeah, he'll knock that guy out. Who the fuck has Devin Haney done that to? Who he done that to?
Can I go now? Can I go now?
Was it Comey a champion? Or
I've been waiting for a long time to speak, man. Hold on. Like, it's not a matter of how good Campbell is and how good Haney is. What determines the matchup is that styles make fights.
Correct.
Yeah, bro. That too is valid, but
experience matters though.
Say that Devin Haney's gonna definitely knock Campbell out. I hear all of these things being said. Just like I said, I want somebody to fucking tell me why Devin Haney definitely knocks Luke Campbell out. And real quick, I want to answer Monkey Kung Fu. Monkey Kung Fu said, black and brown, what were your exact words? He stops Campbell. That was his exact. Yeah. Put it in the chat.
That's my word.
Hold on, bro. It was no variables, Monkey Kung Fu. It wasn't no possibilities. It wasn't no TKO versus unanimous. His exact words was he stops Campbell. That was his exact word.
Yo, but D, see, look, like Boxing Virus in the chat, he said maybe Haney has more in his arsenal. So if Haney, you just said maybe if he has more. In my opinion, I think Haney has more tools than Luke Campbell. Now, I mean, the tools I've seen of Luke Campbell was, versus Linares and Lomachenko. But I mean, you could say he came back in the Linares fight. I'm not high on Linares, like, period. And he did, in my opinion, have some good rounds versus Lomachenko, right? But majority of the fight, he got pieced up. But he's a good fighter. I think he got better. But I think he's still trying to find out exactly who he is in the ring. And I think later on in his career, he'll actually get a lot better too. You know what I'm saying? Because I like who hopefully he keeps training with Josh Taylor, because that, to me, he's improved drastically hanging around Josh Taylor. But, I think Haney has the better footwork. I think Haney sets up his shots better. The experience factor is really what I'm looking at when it comes to Luke Campbell. Experience. That's the rounds, the amount of rounds he's been in, and getting dropped, getting beat up, knowing what to do at certain times. All of that is going to play a factor in the Devin Haney fight. And this is why I said this is Devin Haney's first test. So I don't get upset when somebody's picking Luke Campbell, because Devin Haney's not tested. He hasn't fought anybody on this level. You know what I'm saying? But so I'm not mad at your picking him, but I wouldn't say Haney's going to stop him. I just think it's going to be UD.
All right. Look, Prime Fighting Champion, can y'all see the screen? I want to know both of y'all ideas on this. Can you see the screen? If you can't see the screen, Prime Fighting Champion said it's possible for Campbell to KO Haney.
Yeah. I mean, it's boxing. Like you just said. It's boxing. Yeah. That's fact.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Here it is. I'm going to put something in the chat.
Hey, D, while you're doing that, can I ask you something?
Go ahead.
While you're doing that, let me ask you, why me picking that pick drives you so crazy?
It don't drive me crazy. Watch what I put up here.
Now, I just want to know, bro, because it doesn't seem like a far-fetched pick.
Let me tell you. But I need this comment to be up there when I'm explaining it to you. Hold on 1 second.
I mean, if I pick some crazy shit, then I understand. But I don't think this pick. I don't think this pick is too crazy.
Check it out. It's possible that Haney stops Campbell. We wouldn't be here. But when you tell me Haney definitely stops Campbell, then we're here.
Well, bro, D. Jefferson, don't you?
You asked the question. I answered it.
D. Jefferson. It's all just making picks, bro. What is the big deal? Like, you're in a prediction league, right? You make picks. What's the big deal, bro? What is the big deal, D. Jeff? That's my pick, bro. That's my pick. What's the big deal?
D, let me explain to him, because what D's trying to say is, like, he wanted to know what your rhyme and reason was for picking it indefinitely that he was gonna knock him out. Like, what's the evidence behind that? Like with Teofimo, we could say, oh, he gonna knock out Richard Comey because he has, you know, a trail of bodies that he dropped and stopped. You know what I'm saying? Quivering on the floor and shit, like he would do to Devin Haney if they ever fought. But that's besides the point. Anyways, I'm staying on topic here. You know, Devin Haney has not done that, so that's his point. You know what I'm saying? To that I think that's where he's going with it. Like he wants to hear the full breakdown.
And to go further, it don't bother me, Black and Brown. It don't piss me off. But when I say you can't say that, then I'm going to debate it. That's what it is. I'm going to debate that, my nigga. This is what we do. We debate. You know me. I debate, nigga. That's what I do. Shit. So if somebody say something,
I got you, right, D? And it's all good. I don't debate. It's all good. You do what you do. I do what I do. But look, all I'm saying is, it seems like Devin Haney gets you a little bit over energetic. You know what I mean? Whenever Devin Haney's name comes up, then you and Unbiased instantly start bringing up Teofimo. When the conversation has nothing to do with Teofimo, you and Unbiased continue to bring up Teofimo's name. And I think it's just like this weird thing with Devin Haney, bro.
No, I like that.
It's like this fucking hate for Devin Haney.
I like Devin Haney. I like Devin.
Hold on. Dude, you making the wrong charges to be fucking with D Jeff, my nigga. I'm trying to tell you right now.
I'm just calling it how I see it, D. I'm calling it how I see it.
Okay, well, let me talk. I don't know what kind of lens you looking through and what you seeing, my nigga. Because when I first started this conversation, I didn't say a motherfucking thing about Teofimo Lopez. I was talking about Campbell and Haney. Number two, you said that I get all extra energy when it comes to Devin Haney. Prior to Devin Haney coming out, talking all of this crazy shit about Teofimo, I did nothing but praise Devin Haney. My energy for Devin Haney is the same energy because I'm consistent, Black and Brown, whether I like a guy or not. The energy for Devin Haney is the same fucking energy I'll be giving to Tank Davis. Prove it. The same energy I've been giving to Ryan Garcia. Prove it. So don't tell me I get all extra about Devin Haney because I get the same way about Tank when people start going off about what Tank will do. And tell me I don't. But when you talking about Devin Haney coming at my boy that is a champion, that's about to fight Loma, that is stretched motherfuckers, that is proven more than Devin Haney, and Devin Haney come up here and start talking all of this crazy shit, I'm going to debate it.
See, no one even said that, though. No one brought up Teofimo. No one brought up Devin Haney and Teofimo together. You just did that. And you said that you didn't start the conversation off with Teofimo's name. You didn't. You're right. You didn't. But over the last 5-10 minutes, you had mentioned Teofimo's name about 10 or 20 times.
Well, I brought him into the conversation because I was using I was using the point.
Okay, but he still brought him into the conversation.
No, I did.
Still proved my point.
Crazy right now?
Hold on, I did because of the fact I was trying to say, like, there's people that were skeptical of Teofimo and said the same exact things that a lot of people said about Devin Haney minus the power aspect. You know what I'm saying? So that's what my point was. I was saying, like, yeah, a prospect is always going to look at, he's always going to be looked at, especially in a fight like this, as this is his test, so he might lose. So that's why I don't get upset when somebody's picking the other guy, just like I didn't get upset when people were picking Comey. I just knew Teo was going to ice him, and I just know Devin Haney is going to beat Luke Campbell, in my opinion.
Going to beat him, but not knock him out. And just like Monkey Kung Fu just said, yes, it's possible saying he will is an opinion or a best guess. That's the difference. We have broken this down to you so many ways. Unbiased broke it down to you. I tried, but you don't listen to me. And
what do you mean? What do you mean you broke it down to me?
Hey, Black and Brown, dude, you got to stop the cutting off shit, bro. Like, I don't even allow that shit here. I be stopping everybody from cutting off. You keep trying to cut me off. The goddamn host, my nigga. Chill with that. So, like, it's a huge difference, bro. Everybody's telling you it's a difference. You don't want to accept that. That's okay, fine, bro. If you don't want to accept it, you don't want to accept it. But Unbiased, he is explaining how it's a difference. Monkey trying to tell you how it's a difference, but you just don't want to accept it's a difference. Fine, dog. Fine.
I think
I
He just
agree
wants
with
you to break it
Monkey
down. That's
Kung
it.
Fu's comment. I agree 100% with Monkey Kung Fu's comment. You saying you guys are trying to break it down to me? Break down what, bro? I'm telling you, it's my guess. It's my opinion. What is there to break down? I agree 1000% with Monkey Kung Fu's comment. That's what it is, bro. It's an opinion, and it got you heated and all kind of extra energy over my fucking opinion.
Hold on. At the end of the day, everything that we're saying right now, it's an opinion. Like none of this is facts. None of it is facts. But what
that's
D,
exactly
my point,
hold on,
Black and Brown. What D wants you to do is just break down why and how you see Haney stopping Luke Campbell. That's what I think he wants you to get to. I think.
I mean, dog, I explained that shit 100 times, bro. Like I said, Unbiased came, he gave his opinion. I'm not saying, listen, bro, you just said yourself, Black and Brown. That's my opinion. That's my guess. That's my opinion. That's my guess. So when I say it ain't a fucking definite, nigga, why you getting in your feelings? Not me.
I've never been in my feelings, D. Never been in my feelings, D.
So what are you talking about? Because you just contradicted yourself, my nigga. You put a statement. I'm getting ready to tell you when you learn how to listen, bro, and stop cutting niggas off. You just contradicted yourself because you put your comment, and I don't want to goddamn scroll back to it. Your comment was a comment of a definite, but then you come on here and say, that's my guess, that's my opinion. That's why we're here now.
How the hell are you determining what my comment is if it's not an opinion or if it's a definite? I didn't put, I definitely think Haney stops. I didn't put that, D. I put my opinion in your chat.
You're right. So you didn't mean he definitely stops. Because if you say you didn't mean that, this conversation's over with. You're right.
At the end of the day, bro, it's an opinion, D, and I don't know, bro. I might have hit you at the wrong time, D, but Hey, D, it's an opinion. That's all it is, bro. If I was in Champs Prediction League, that would be my prediction, bro. It ain't. I don't know what else you're trying to make it, but that's all it is, D. Right. And you're the one told me to hit the link. You tell me why am I on here with all the extra energy? You told me to hit the link 4 or 5 times, and I hit your link every single day, D. But today you're acting like, oh, you're scared to hit the link. Why don't you hit the link? Like, bro, I'm in your show every day with you, bro. Look, every day I'm on your show with you.
Black and Brown, you know what's funny to me, dog? You know what's funny to me? You sat up here and said, D, you getting in your feelings, But nigga, I said hit the link and come explain to me why. I ain't know. Oh, what are you talking about? Like, whoever said you were scared? I said, well, just come tell me why, bro. You always on here to panel with me. Come tell me why. I ain't never accused you of being scared to come up here or nothing, dog. But I'm in my feelings. Look, this is me. Everybody unbiased, how long you been around me? Nigga, I do this. Veins out my neck, and I'm smiling and joking with you the next day. Motherfucker, I ain't in no feelings. But
that's how we do. We both do that.
With the cutting out, dog, it ain't like that here. It ain't no cut off here, dog. So chill. Put yourself on mute if you can't do that. Because I will give you the respect, and I'll stop somebody from talking if they're cutting you off. So don't do that here. Please. I'm asking you. So I ain't no fucking emotions, bro. You not been around me long enough. Period. Mr. Two Hands done cleared this up on a couple of occasions because he's from the DMV like me. We get excited and passionate into this. Ain't no fucking feelings, nigga. I don't got shit against you or nobody else. Ain't nothing about being in my feelings. What are you talking about?
And you can be in your feelings and be in a bad mood.
You can. That's possible, but I'm not. That's what the fuck I'm telling you. I don't care what's a possibility. I'm telling you.
Well, your energy got really high when I picked Devin Haney to stop Luke Campbell. Your energy got really high, D. All right, bro. Maybe you might not be in your feelings, but your energy went to a next level when I brought up Devin Haney stopping Luke Campbell in 7 rounds, bro. Okay, that's it.
Well, let me tell you this. Pay attention to D. Jefferson. Because you can make it about my energy getting all high about your isolated topic. But from now on, pay attention to D. Jefferson and watch my energy explode like this whenever I fucking debate, dude.
D. Jefferson, I've been watching you for 8 months, bro. What are you talking about, bro?
Okay,
like,
so
I don't
understand. Hype like this before, and it ain't have shit to do with it.
I have. I see you act like this every day. So what?
So if you have, how the fuck can you charge me for getting emotional over this conversation?
Because you did. So what, bro?
That's your perspective, fool. That's what I'm telling you. Ain't no emotions here. You thought I got emotions. Say this with me. Oh, I was wrong about that. That's just how D is.
Hey, bro, I don't know, bro. Hey, D, I got love for you, bro. I've been fucking with you for a minute on some whole different shit, bro. But maybe this Haney situation just is a touchy subject for you, bro. I don't know.
Maybe you just don't get it and don't understand it. It ain't no touchy subject for me. Maybe you just don't get it. You're not listening. You don't hear me. That's it. You ain't hearing me.
I listen to you every day. I listen to fucking your show every day,
I say you ain't, okay, you're hearing me. Let me rephrase that. You do hear me. You ain't fucking listening, nigga. I'm passionate about boxing, not no particular boxer, not no particular situation. But if I hear something from anyone and I don't agree with it, and we start going back and forth, you're going to get this same energy that you're claiming as emotional, and I'm going to be smiling with you the next day. See, this is what emotional motherfuckers do. They have these debates, then all of a sudden, you go onto their channel, and they talking shit about you. You go on their channel.
I never accuse you of that.
See, there you go, dog. Something's wrong with you. You got to put it on mute or something if you can't help yourself. If you can't contain yourself from cutting off. So you'll go on their channels and you'll see them throwing subliminals at you. But you don't ever see D Jeff do that. Because I ain't never in my fucking emotions, dude. That's your perspective on what you see. Just like Monkey Kung Fu just said. Read and understand, comprehend this comment, my nigga. D, you're passionate, not emotional. You don't get the difference between that, black and brown. When you see passion, you take it as somebody getting emotional. You don't understand. You can't comprehend the difference in it, bro. Obviously, because
hold on, but D,
hold on, unbiased. Because as many times as I'm sitting here telling you that this is just me, and plenty of people have witnessed this and understand this, you keep telling me I'm emotional. So you don't want to accept it, black and brown, and that's fine. Like I said before, if that's your opinion and you think that it's emotional, fine. But guess what? I ain't never gonna talk shit about you, bro. I ain't never gonna make no videos about you. I ain't never gonna sit up here and say anything about you being a casual. Even though you ain't put my name in there, I won't even hint toward that. I ain't gonna do none of that because to me, I think that shows being emotion.
Well,
right. Can I go now? Can I go now?
Yeah.
Hey, D, I never accused you of none of that shit, bro. I never said you were gonna make videos of me. I never said none of that shit, bro. All I said is this. That's damn, bro. You just talk so much shit to me and tell me that I got something wrong with me because I cut you off, but then you cut me off. Come on, D. You can't tell me I got something wrong with me because I cut you off and then you cut me off, bro.
All right, my bad. Go ahead. Continue.
D, I've been fucking with you for 8 months, bro. I never said you were gonna make videos about me or you're overly emotional. We're talking about one fucking topic, bro. And all I said was this topic got you heated, emotional. Okay, bro, it's not a big deal, D. Maybe I caught you on a bad day, but I'm not here for this, D. I don't come on YouTube to fight with nobody, bro. Like we can discuss, we can get it. We can have emotional, passionate, whatever you want to call it. Emotional, passionate. You want to separate the two words? Go ahead, bro. I don't give a fuck. To me, it's all the same. We can get emotional. We can get passionate. It's all good. I don't come here.
I was gonna say. I don't mean to cut you off, black and brown or D, but like, yo, it's not even that serious, bro. Like black and brown, I've heard you get heated, on certain debates before. D gets heated, the smoke gets heated. I get heated. We all scream.
Fuck that shit. I don't get heated on nothing. You tripping? You guys need to keep my name out your motherfucking mouth when you talk about who gets heated in debates. I'm always chill. Always.
Say one thing about PPC and watch smoke get heated.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all good, man. Like, that's his opinion. That's his opinion that Haney stops Campbell, bro. That's all it is.
Hey, real quick, guys. Hey, DJ. Hey, guys, real quick. I got to go back to work. It's all love and respect, guys. I swear to God, D, I got none but love and respect for you, bro.
Yeah, why you ducking me, bro?
I don't want no smoke with you, bro. I'm cool. I don't want no, bro. I don't want no smoke with you, bro.
I'm just playing with you guys, like for real. Like I think what happened was that D don't like to be confused with a fanboy, right? He can,
My bad, D. My bad, bro. My bad.
but really, D be out here fanboying his ass off. He just changed the definition for himself. That's all.
Hey, good conversation, guys. Hey, speak your mind, sports talk, baby. Good conversation. I'm out. D, I'll fuck with you later.
All right. Yo, bro. You know what, Smoke? You seen it. You seen it. Because the whole thing was like, it was here. It was okay. But then when he put that fanboy comment up, that's when I started going at him a little bit. You know what I mean? And then I was like, okay, well, you come up here and explain this to me since I'm a fanboy. Because, like, Mr. Two Hands just spoke about this. Monkey Kung Fu be saying some profound shit, too. He said, D, everyone is different. Some people might misread your passion, but you're explaining it, which is a good thing. Conversation leads to understanding. Yeah, no doubt, bro. No doubt. Appreciate that. But it's like this, dog. Everybody will get used to me sooner or later. Because I think two people that's on this panel right now are completely used to me. And I think I'm biased as Smoke understand. D ain't emotional. D ain't got nothing against me. That's just D. Like, you know what I mean? So some people going to see it as like I'm emotional. I'm getting heated at them and all of that. But just like
it's for the most part, it's never personally charged, right?
Never.
I mean, you know,
never.
I don't know. I don't personally charge anybody. You know what I'm saying? Some people, that's how they debate because they can't debate topics. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, we know who those people are or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, man, it was a good debate. You know, that's just his opinion. He feels like Haney's going to stop him. You know what I mean? Whatever.
Yeah, the opinions though, like we all gotta respect opinions, bro. And I'm just saying, like, here goes another thing. Black and brown, my dude, dog. And but I'm biased, even you gotta admit this, dog. Listen, nigga, if everything is the same to you, then we gonna keep going around. Cause TKOs and Unanimous the same. You know what I mean? Passion and fucking emotional is the same. Well, if it's all the same to you, then of course, you know what I'm saying? But to me, those things are different, dog. You know what I mean? When you say that somebody's getting emotional, and fuck this, bro. Fuck this. I'm going to say it. Want me to explain to you what getting emotional is? When Unbiased went on the UGC to talk about Canelo versus Andre, and they got into a heated debate, and the shit that was said, that's emotional. That's the dude that was debating Unbiased, and y'all know what the fuck I'm talking about. Black Horseman. And all of that crazy shit he said to Unbiased, that's called being emotional. I think that's emotional. But this shit right here, this is passion, bro. Because like I said, tomorrow, you going to be my bro. We going to kick it again. Like me and Smoke do all the time. Like me and Unbiased used to do every fucking day. Like me and my man right here, Mr. Two Hands. Me and Mr. Two Hands got into one of these kind of debates. And I was just like I am now. And Mr. Two Hands like, no, you motherfucker, you fucking crazy. Right on DT3 channel. And the next day, me and Mr. Two Hands was like, hell yeah, what's up, Brody? That's not getting emotional, bro. But when you start calling motherfuckers out their name, disrespecting them, that's called getting emotional. So two things. Don't fucking call me no goddamn fanboy, because that's disrespectful. And if you assume I'm getting emotional, then I'm going to come at you and tell you why it's not. That's just how it is, bro. Because it's different from being passionate and being emotional. And the shit that was done to Unbiased, if any of you get up here and debate me, I will never do that kind of shit to you, because that's getting emotional. Right or wrong?
Nah, that's facts.
I get called all kinds of protector. I'll say that. But you know, I don't actually mind living backstage either. I got to twist my weed. I got to smoke. You know, check up the chat, all that.
I mean, bro, I get excited, dog. I ain't even gonna lie. Like, it ain't no fucking secret, bro. I got veins be coming out my fucking neck. So
yo, but D, let me tell you what's the difference, right? And I think even Get the Smoke could speak on it, because he, you know, his encounters with Black Horseman is, you know, he hasn't even been able to debate, because Black Horseman just hurls names at him, because he don't actually want to debate the topics, because most of the time he doesn't have any facts or the boxing knowledge to actually come with a solid point. You know what I'm saying? So that's really what happened. You know what I mean? And when it's just one-on-one, there's nothing that he could do besides hurl, you know what I'm saying, insults at you or just boot you off the panel. So that's really what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, we good, black and brown, bro. You my dude, dog. We good. And that's all. You know, it ain't no disrespect, bro. And I ain't got nothing against you, dog. Like, we always good. Get this smoke. I would tell me and Unbiased agree on this too, because we done talked about this behind the scene. And this ain't just about no particular one dude. Okay? Get this smoke. We'll body 90%, 95% of the people in the fucking YTBC. And I can guarantee you that.
Yeah,
you body bag their ass.
Yeah,
yeah.
For the most part, yeah, I can admit that. Yeah, you got to know how to see with Smoke. You got to know. See, I've had so many dealings with Smoke that I know how to debate Smoke. And not a lot of people will know how to debate him. Nope. That's facts. Yeah,
nope. And he got a wealth of knowledge, so it don't matter. Like I always say, you can win debates and not even be right. You could be wrong, but still win the debate because of how much knowledge you got and your debating skills, right? Well, Smoke got both. He got knowledge about this sport and he got debating skills. And sometimes that nigga be full of shit and he know he full of shit, but he still keep going because he got the debating skills. So I can tell you, he'll body half most of these motherfuckers running around. And that dude that disrespected the Unbiased ain't got no fucking chance against Smoke. One-on-one, Smoke will bury his ass. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. I don't give a fuck who like it or whatever. Get this Smoke, we'll bury him. 10 times out of 10. Call it what you want to call it. That's it, man.
Yeah, I mean, but the issue is, right, with Black Horseman, man, is he just is disrespectful to everybody on his panel, that even the people that he's cool with. Like, he just constantly turns on people. That's really what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know. My man told me I didn't get pussy, and that beating me in a debate was me stuttering. I'm okay.
Right.
Okay, yeah, I guess that's the world he lives in.
I done heard you Smoke.
Even the conversation, my bad, D, even the conversation that you was having with him and Intangible, like this stuff that was just disrespectful too, right? You were just trying to explain your point, you know what I'm saying? And then to call Intangible a hoe and then kick him off, and what Intangible was saying was actual facts. Yep. You know what I'm saying? What you were saying was actual facts. Again, he doesn't live in the realm of facts. He don't want to hear facts at all.
Yeah,
that's the issue.
Yeah, but off of that, bro, I ain't even talk about that shit no more. But Ray, I'll put it in there for you. But look, man, because I just killed like a whole damn hour and a half fucking with my nigga Black and Brown. Ray to get ready to come on here, but let's close the show out with this, guys. I want maybe like the last 20 minutes, 30 minutes or so. Get back to the original fucking topic. This was lit again. I love it, bro. Y'all know I love the debate, man. This is what I came into YouTube on, and I love this shit. I'm trying to, at some levels, get away from that all the time, though. You know what I mean? Like have these discussions instead of fucking up here arguing all the fucking time, bro. Like sometimes that's cool, but like sometimes let's just fucking talk boxing, bro. You know what I mean? Let's talk boxing. We ain't gotta fucking get up here and yell at each other and fucking all this hollering every fucking time. This is why I designed Speak Your Mind Sports Talk Live Daily. You know, sometimes, hey, this is boxing talk. Sometimes it'll get out of hand and we'll go on these fucking tangents. But like, let's try to keep this shit in context. So with that being said, my man, Mr. Two Hands up here too. I want y'all to give y'all final thoughts. Mr. Two Hands, you could start off the state of boxing, you know, because that's what the day's topic was about. Here y'all go. There you go.
Salute everybody. I just wanted to come up here and be amongst you cool guys. You know what I'm saying? Y'all motherfuckers so cool. You know what I mean? I just need some of that energy just to rub off on me. You feel me? But the state of boxing is in a serious state of emergency. That's why I always highlight and say the state of emergency. I've been saying it at the beginning of my videos, because if you look at what's going on right now, you know, I mean, the whole world is at a standstill. I believe that fighters should be willing to acquiesce a little bit, come down, and just be willing to take on some of these fights, because people are going to start to look at you different, and you need your fan base. And regardless of whether they're there in the flesh or they're at home watching you, they are still watching you. They're still enjoying you, and you're still going to get paid for it. I just think that the more and more we've already been dealing with this prima donna stuff, now the whole world is just going crazy. People need sports, especially in a time like this. And I feel like, you know, it's a good thing what Bob Arum's doing with the Tuesday and Saturday fights. That definitely needs to come back. You know, it doesn't have to be all A-list opponents. It could be B-list guys versus B-list guys, like I was saying a few minutes ago. It could be C-list guys versus C-list guys, because you want to know what that might birth? That might birth another Arturo Gatti and Mickey Ward.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing, you know, and even Ludabella was saying that. The matchmaking has to change, because it's so lopsided and so evident what they're doing that, like, you can't even hide it from a casual individual. So I would just like to see boxers be more willing to come down a little bit, accept the fact that, you know, hey, you get paid what you get paid. I don't hate on that. You know, even if you're overpaid, get your money. But at the same time, even if you know you getting over on some of these persons or whatever, like, yo, just be willing to come down a little bit, bro. Give the fans more what they want to see, because honestly, yes, it is about the fighter, but it's more importantly about the fans too. So we can't take away from the fans. That's why we need that, just like that picture right there. We need that Teofimo Lopez versus Lomachenko. We need that Casimiro versus Inoue. We need that Chisora versus Usyk. We need these fights. You know, and Chisora versus Usyk shouldn't be such a hard thing to do without fans. I don't see why not. I think that, you know, the state of the zone is looking great right now. I just heard Blavatnik just cashed in another $6 billion. So I'm just saying, man, like, let's be more willing to, you know, participate instead of, you know, just stay at a standstill. Enough is enough, man. Enough is enough. Like, yo, Jesse Magdaleno, like, yo, I respect you and all of that stuff, bro. We're going to need a little bit more than that. Because if you look at it on Dana White's and what he's doing on Fight Island, bro, they just said that they're doing Robert Whitaker versus freaking Darren Till on Fight Island. So if you're a casual fan or you're a fan of boxing and you're looking like, yo, Dana White done resurrected Fight Island over here, they're putting on these great top billing cards, and then I look over at boxing, and this is what these guys are giving me. Absolutely nothing. You know, I just think that it's gonna because we don't know how long it's gonna be like this. So do you want to go in to say next year things don't change at the beginning of next year and there's still not fans in the building? This is the last time I said. Do you want to be starting does Anthony Joshua is the only one that said he's willing to do a fight right now that I've heard that's at that upper echelon level. You know, Shakur, he went out and performed regardless of whatever. The Ryan Garcia shit is just disgusting me. And people defending that disgust me. But I'm just saying, bro, you got to look at everything that's going on right now. And you got to be like, yo, if you go to the next year like this, we're basically going to be reliving the start of what 2020 was supposed to be in 2021. So we'll be looking for freaking that trilogy in what, 2023?
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. This is just ridiculous.
And bro, what you just said there, I agree 100%. I just said the same fucking thing on the donut shop this morning. If I had to pick a guy out of high-profile fighters that would take less, it would be Joshua. I just said that same fucking shit, bro. I agree with you 100% because the dude is after legacy. He's after accomplishments. He's trying to be the best and prove he's the best. So I think if he could get for about undisputed, he would take less. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. I think he would compromise because he really
probably would
be great.
All right, all right. So let me be the dissenting voice. It's very easy to say that you're going to take less when you have a broken leg and you ain't fighting nobody. So yeah, whatever. He said he would take less. I'm sure he would take less under certain circumstances. He definitely said he was willing to take less to not, to fight in the UK, right? So I think if the circumstance, as long as he got what he wanted, sure, he would take less money as long as he got the things that he actually cared about. But he has more money than everybody, right? Other than what, Canelo? I mean, hopefully he would, but man, I'm him saying, paying lip service to him taking a haircut when nobody's asking him to, and he can't fight anyway. Like, whatever.
Right. So you don't believe him, and that's fine. But I believe him. Mr. Two Hands believe him.
Yeah, because prior to that,
I believe he will in a certain circumstance.
1 second, Smoke. 1 second, Smoke. I understand what you're saying about the broken leg right now, but he said this before he had a broken leg. He said he was willing to try to fight Kubrat Pulev, but because he wanted to be a part of the Eddie Hearn fight, the fight week thing that he has going on the 4th of July and weeks after that. He wanted to be a part of it. So and it was trying to figure out a way if they could get Kubrat Pulev in it, and just Eddie Hearn was like, I don't know if that's realistically possible. So I'm just saying, even he's trying to make it to where move forward, get the Pulev mandatory out the way, so we can get further into what we want to see. So you know what I'm saying? I gotta respect the individual that's trying to do that.
I get you, and I got your sentiment. I'm gonna be real fast. And I got that sentiment, but it's just easier when you're contracted. If your contract says you're getting $30 million a fight versus your contract saying you're getting $200K a fight. Like, yeah, all right, I'll take a nice little haircut. Bring me back to $22 million. Like, okay, cool. Like,
that's a fair point. I mean, that's a fair point because everybody wants the money. So if I'm getting 30 million, they say, oh, you're gonna have to take 25 million. Okay, but if I'm getting $1 million and that was the first time I fucking got $1 million, but now you telling me I gotta get 200,000. That make a big goddamn difference, dog. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I hear you, Smoke, but
because if it was me, bro, say if I had Anthony Joshua's kind of money and the type of drive that he has and the way he's presenting himself right now, just through spoken word, if it was me personally and I had that type of income, bro, I'd be willing to have take a damn near charity pay just to get Pulev out of the way, so I can move fucking forward. You know what I'm saying? Like, this dude just made $85 million. So to him, who knows? He might be willing to come down on such a level to where it's like he might forego $15 million. But we got to see if, other entities are even willing to do something like that, or how people can make that possible. But something has to be done. So even the thought of the biggest star in the sport, the biggest money maker in the sport, is saying something like that, I wish it trickled down to other individuals in the sport.
Facts.
I was just gonna say real quick, and I'm gonna bounce. Yeah, man, I think the sport of boxing right now, it's in my opinion, it's in a decent place. You know what I mean? Me personally, I'm looking forward to a couple of fights, but other than that, I'm cool with even like not mediocre fights, but slugfest fights that I know will be slugfest. Put those on right now. Something that'll give the fight fans something that we want to watch, not like one-sided tune-ups. You know what I'm saying? Like Two Hands said, the matchmaking needs to be better. Give us Alvarez versus Joe Smith. Give me that. That'll be a good fight. Give me fights that can be wars, so the fans can get riled up again. You know what I'm saying? And right now, in my opinion, they're not. There's good fights in each division, but you know what I mean? We're in a tough spot, in my opinion. You know what I mean? But overall, we still got some big mega fights that everybody's looking forward to. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's in a decent place, in my opinion. But money-wise, oh man, it's in a great place. Great place.
All right. And Raider from LA just stepped on. What's up, Raider?
Hey, what's cracking, my boy? How's it going? Just right here, eating some mariscos and another beautiful day in LA, man. How's it going?
It's great, bro. So what are your thoughts on the state of boxing, fam?
Right now, I mean, shit, we're getting not good fights right now, but that's because of the pandemic. I mean, but after all this is over, man, hopefully we can get back into it, giving us those good ass fights. But right now, obviously, right now is shit. Right now, at the moment, right now, but it's not gonna be like that forever, So pretty soon we'll be getting those big fights again.
Yeah, like right now, I might not like break up a fight between my kids just to watch something go down.
Let's let those scrap.
Smoke be getting in fights with his wife on purpose. And
I'm going to
Oh, that's a must. That's a must. Got to keep on the toe.
right.
Hey, Jay Blues, what's up?
What's up, y'all?
Give me your thoughts, man. What do you think about the state of boxing?
It could be better, but for real, how did UFC get so what's the word I'm looking for? Oversaturated, right? Oversaturation got them exposure. Every fucking Saturday there was a fight night. If it wasn't a pay-per-view, it was a motherfucking fight night, and they at least had like a solid main event, if not a banging ass main event, like a Wonder Boy or a Rory McDonald just out of nowhere on a Saturday night. If boxing used to be like that, right? Boxing used to be on every single week with how would Coast sell, and you got used to seeing that shit. You look forward to it, and it's not that it's a higher level of skill. It's just a different level of skill. It's a different period. It's more aesthetic. Like watching MMA, you kind of got to have a savage side. Like watching somebody get blasted in their face with a knee, or especially when it goes to the ground. Like if you don't know what the fuck you're watching, it just seems boring. It'll bring. Yeah, you don't know what the fuck you're looking at, so you're waiting for him to get snapped. Boxing will bring back a lot of fight fans. It'll bring back a lot of attention to the fight game, period. UFC will be bigger if boxing is bigger.
My man, IOTBA in the building. Was good, IOTBA. I ain't seen you in a minute. But look, real quick, guys, Lawrence had put up, I just clicked on IOTBA comment. Lawrence put up a good comment. Damn, I can't find. Oh, there it is. There it is. Lawrence said the state of boxing is good to me. You got to break down the fights more, and you have a better appreciation, not just worry about the popular guys in the sports. That's a good perspective, bro. To me,
I mean, but what do you mean, though? I mean, who's doing that? Because at the same time, that's kind of vague to me. Because it's a good question on what end. Because if you got the popular guys in the sport not even worrying about the little guys in the sport, and they're not pushing them, and they're not doing things necessarily to big them up or give them a bigger spotlight to where they can make things work in that regard, then, you know, the little guys like us and us, you know, doing it is only going to make it to a certain benefit. There's got to be more exposure on a bigger level, and COVID-19 shouldn't just be the thing that just shouldn't be the reason why that happened. Tuesday and Saturday nights should have been going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, we should have been having these kind of fights. It shouldn't have taken for COVID-19 and us to have no fans for us to say, hey, let's appreciate the little guy in the room. There's not even a lot of big guys in the room. So if that's the case, then it's only just it's only a conversation of people having a conversation about 2 or 3 individuals or 3 or 4 fights that have been overly microwaved. Now, I'm in full agreement. I appreciate the little guys. I love the little guys, and I herald the guys that don't have the name yet and try to put them in a position to where people are going to appreciate them. Try to bring them up as much as I can. But as far as our voices, you know, they're only going to magnify to such a degree. We need, you know, the state. It's got to start at the top to work its way to trickle to the bottom as well.
Yeah.
Not only that, too. There's no title fights. We haven't seen any title fights where UFC is putting title fights. You know.
Yeah. All right. So let me just.
Because they're trying to. This is where the money comes to play, because they're trying to hold a lot of those fights off until the economy says you can have a certain amount of fans. Because even Bob Arum said he was talking about some venue where, well, it seats 60,000. So if we could get at least 20,000 in there, you know what I mean? And they spread them out. So they want some type of fans, the recession, the ticket sales. And if they get that, then, you know, at least this is their idea of the championship fights. Not that I agree with it. I agree with you guys. We need championship fights. But I'm just saying this is their ideology of why this is my ideology of why we're not getting them, because the fans are not present. I mean, they're not there.
Right, D. And think about the conversation, bro. The conversation goes like this. They create the conversation. The articles are created by the journalists who go out and seek it. That stuff gets, you know, brought down to us, and then we go and break down and we give it analytics. So if they're at the top talking about, hey, all of these fighters are overpaid and they're not even putting any work and they're not giving us any good fights, and they're letting it be known that they're not giving us any good fights, and all we've been clamoring for is shit. Friday night fights, Tuesday and Saturday night fights. We've been wanting more fights. We've been wanting, you know, shit. There even needs to be boxing on in daytime, not in foreign countries where you have to click certain freaking unfamiliar, you know, websites that you got to fucking go dig through a goddamn, you know, it's like a needle in a haystack trying to find it. It needs to be available to where, you know, the casual fan can be like, okay, this is where it can hit them in the face. Kind of like some Good Morning America type shit. Every morning you wake up, you get Good Morning America. We need some good morning fucking boxing vibes. We need some good evening boxing vibes. I'm just saying, it just needs to, like, it all trickles down. So we only as good as what we working with.
That's the fact.
Yeah, you know what?
It's almost like Speak Your Mind Sports Talk Live Daily, ain't it, Mr. Two Hands? You can come here every day.
Facts though. Facts though.
Hey,
I just like to. Yeah, go ahead, Jerry. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, hey, no. Also, too, you know, right now is, you know how it's COVID. Everybody's at home, so people are watching these UFC fights that have probably never seen UFC, and they're watching these championship fights going on, these nice fights. They're like, you know what? Fuck, let me get into some UFC. You know, let me look at this shit. And then meanwhile, boxing, no title fights. You're getting these whack ass cards. They're throwing this product out there to the people that are available to look at it, and they're like, I don't want to watch this shit. You know, like all these new customers, potential new customers, they're not throwing the good product out there. They should be throwing all the good ass product out there. At least not the best fights, but at least some good championship fights. You know what I mean?
Dude, Tony.
Yeah, I just like to just debt this whole UFC versus boxing, right? Just like once and for all. Like UFC is just riding boxing's coattails. They're not gonna make it look bad. They're not gonna overtake it. They're not doing anything except for using boxing to promote themselves. The only thing the UFC can do is make Top Rank look bad.
No.
Let me ask you this. What's the UFC MMA fight? Not even UFC. What is the MMA fight that people are looking forward to
right now? Gilbert Burns and Kamaru Usman.
All right, cool. I bet you can name 5 fights in boxing that you are 10 times more excited about.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what I'm saying. Like UFC is cool for what they are. You can get good fights like sooner when you want them, like in more timely fashion. But that's about it.
Yes and no, bro. Yes and no. And see, I don't like a lot of the UFC fans, like my guy Alistair, the young kid, that get overzealous and start talking about UFC taking over boxing. Look, like let's be realistic about it. UFC ain't there yet, ain't close. They still behind boxing. But I will say this: if boxing does not start putting on decent cards, if the state of boxing slides the way we were talking about earlier, the UFC will catch boxing. It definitely will catch boxing, I guarantee you. They're pulling a lot of fans from the sport of boxing now, and they were actually pulling some fans from the sport of boxing prior to the pandemic. So if boxing keeps on the track of the Top Rank card and UFC keeps doing what Dana White is doing, then you're going to see that gap close tremendously. But Smoke, what you said about the UFC, and it's just like you get I don't necessarily agree with that, bro. The UFC they're not as old as boxing, but it's been around 30 years, and they have a lot established, bro. They have a lot established. I think you
definitely, man. I'm a UFC. Listen, and I'm talking about from the beginning, from Royce and Shamrock and Tank Abbott, okay. And I go back with UFC. I'm not. This is not a this versus that. Like for real, it seems like UFC fans just try to use this whole card thing in order to pump the UFC. But really, what they need to do is pump the brakes. I mean, that literally, this sentiment is why we got Floyd versus McGregor, because before that, UFC was using boxing to promote Ronda Rousey versus Floyd, right? That's just what they do. So really, when it comes right down to it, figure out a way to pay your champions, stop having Devin White talk shit to legends, and then come talk to me about how great UFC is.
Bro, for real, UFC is still pretty much like, I used to think that Chuck Liddell and Randy Couture was like the Fabulous Four. They were the UFC's Marvin Haglers and Tommy Hearns. But in reality, like, they were Sam Langford, and fucking Anderson Silva was Jack Johnson, physically as well as metaphorically. Jack Johnson looked just like fucking Anderson. but they're still like they're in the 20s and 30s right now. Like they have literally 80 years to go before they even try to catch up to boxing.
Right.
Like the shit is still in its infancy, man. Like Tank Abbott was John O'Sullivan. Come the fuck on. History repeats itself, not always in the same ways, but there's similarities, man. There's ties and shit. There's continuity to pick up on.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I was about to say that we, boxing got an 80-year head jump, bro. You can't have something that's been established for 80 more years and then just fuck around and think, oh, this new organization's taking over. That's the same dumb shit that a lot of people that hate the PBC started saying when the Zone came out. Oh, the Zone's taking over. They're going to take over everything. Well, did it fucking happen yet? Because that's how they was acting, like the Zone going to shut it down and take. Man, these other networks been established for a while. The Zone going to have to put their dues in. They're doing very well. The same as the UFC. They're doing very well. But they haven't taken out Top Rank. They haven't taken out Natural. They haven't done any of that shit, bro. They haven't taken out ESPN. Like, they still got work to put in. And as a matter of fact, if the state of boxing don't come back where it's going to be, the Zone is probably in more trouble than the other networks because they've been established. The Zone done dumped a whole lot of money and investments into trying to get put on. So if this boxing thing don't work out, they're going to lose bigger than everybody else, and you can guarantee that.
And for me, there's never a point in my life where I feel like boxing is not going to work out. Boxing was birthed in, over 300 freaking in the freaking 18 fucking hundreds, basically. You know what I'm saying? Like, so at the end of the 1800s, bare knuckle boxing way before that. So, like, think about when the Queensberry rules weren't, put into place. We would just remember me and Jay and y'all were just talking about that like a couple weeks ago.
1867.
Right, exactly. So when we think about all of these things, it's almost, kind of asinine to believe that, the UFC has boxing because boxing will never go anywhere. There's always going to be a fan of boxing. There's, Muhammad Ali and death will always make a bigger impact than most of these stars in life. And that transcends the children. The motivators of the sport and the people and the knockout kings of the sport. That's what makes boxing great. And it's always like Triple G says, the big drama show, man. It's the show that we know is corrupt, but everybody loves to see. Boxing will never go anywhere. There will be its diehard fans, and it'll always continue to build. People, it's just it has to go from a stage of being so egotistical as far as, promotional outfits. It has to come back to, looking at it like, hey, man, we all going to get money here. We got to figure out a way to evolve and get better. I see Eddie Hearn as a young promoter, and he's finding different ways to be innovative and evolve the sport in its own way. Bob Arum in his old age could use the things that he's seen in his past to bring back Tuesday and Saturday boxing now. So if I look at these things and when boxing comes back, I look at an influx of fucking great fights, a certain type of energy and adrenaline that's going to be surrounded around boxing because it's all we've been clamoring for right now. And I think even the fighters that have been sitting on the sideline, they're ready to put on. So whatever it is right now, it's not what it's going to be when this pandemic is out of the way.
Right. And you know what else, Mr. Two Hands? I can agree with your sentiment on that because fuck, man, boxing made it through the Great Depression. Boxing made it through the WBC and the WBA bullshit. Remember, it was almost over then. So they've made it through some really tough times, and actually the Great Depression and the WBC, WBA bullshit was worse times than this, but they still made it through. So
and there's and we got two type of fans here. We got people that are really appreciate skill set. So when you look at the UFC, you're not looking at guys with great, talent with their hands. They have to be well-rounded. And we all know that wrestling dominates the UFC. So there's always going to be that. There's always going to be that need. There's always going to be that want to tune into boxing, regardless of whatever an individual is doing, because that's why we call it the sweet science. You know what I mean? It's something, we break down and we dissect all the time. With UFC, you're downloading a whole bunch of different data on different things. But one thing you can say is how many great guys have hands over there besides Max Holloway has great hands. Anderson Silva, you would think of Anderson Silva, or you would think of
Peter Yan,
Dominic Cruz, Dan Hooker. You know, there's only a few guys that really have like great skill sets to their hands where you can say, hey, that guy might translate to boxing. So, you know, the sweet science is always going to be appreciated.
Yeah, facts, bro. Because like you said, wrestling and grapplers, I mean, I would say it's kind of even between wrestlers and grapplers because, like, you know, jiu-jitsu specialists and stuff, it's just the ground control. But you're right. If you don't have either one of those skills in MMA, like grappling or wrestling, your hands ain't going to take you but so far, bro. Campbell Slice was the best with their hands in that motherfucker. And as soon as he got taken down, no cigar.
My God. Remember the dude they put him in? What was it, Elite XC? And he fought some dude with pink hair. He was supposed to wash him, and the dude went out there and just broke him down.
Took him down because he had no idea of how to defend himself on the ground.
Bro, you wouldn't even have to take him down. Matt Mitrione would leg kick him as he would load up for the right hand, and he would just and almost fall the fuck over. Like Matt Mitrione was laughing at Campbell, bro.
That's another factor. Muay Thai and kickboxers, they do well too. Because if you ain't got that lead leg up under you and they keep chopping that motherfucker down, bro, you ain't got no power in them punches. You can barely get them things off. But again, guys with their hands, they're not used to defending no damn leg kicks. They're not used to defending arm bars, rear naked choke, knee bars, ankle locks, and don't make me go on and on and on.
Because the leg kick is the jab in the UFC.
They're right. Boy, take them legs from up under you. It's a wrap, dog. Look what happened. Look what happened to Max Holloway and Vulcan. Vulcan was chopping that man's legs down, bro. That's why he beat Max. He was tearing Max's legs up. Max couldn't get on that lead leg. Max's hands are nice, but Vulcan ain't let him get it off because he kept chopping them legs away.
That's a fact. Like the motherfuckers gonna look like cherry tomatoes after they finish, bro. And like that, and that's the thing, you know. Like I said, it's you're paying attention to so many different skill sets, you know, that boxing is always going to be regarded as something that, like I said, I never see boxing going away. The one thing that's always going to be highly appreciated. This sport is, you know, laid the foundation for so many different things, and we've had so many different greats come from the sport. Now I think we're at a sport in transition in boxing where we've got out the Dr. Steelhammer era. We have, you know, influx of new heavyweights and prospect heavyweights that are looking phenomenal. We got great guys, future prospects at 154, 130, 135, all the way down to 118, the smoking shit. So with that being said, bro, the future is bright, and the amateur classes that are coming up, they're appreciating these dudes that they're seeing that are young. So all I'm saying is right now, man, look, right now boxing might be what it is, but watch fucking 5 to 15 years from now when boxing, how that shit gonna look.
What's his name?
Hey.
Go ahead, man.
Hey, real quick, AD. What do you think? What is boxing waiting for in order to get the crowds in? Like, is there a government like restriction on that, or I mean, what are they waiting for? Because I know everybody's practicing social distancing, but that's not a law. You know what I mean? Like, what is it that boxing is waiting for? For somebody else to do it first, or what?
It is what these promoters are waiting for is the governments to say that we are allowing fans in the venues right now. That's basically what they're waiting on. The social distancing and all of that, no, that's not a law. But what the statewide governments and stuff have done is they've shut down places where you can congregate. So you can't. These places are closed. They're not even allowed to open these venues. So that's what's preventing them from taking the next step. And like I said, it's the promoters and the network because they want to put these fights on with fans. No fans, they don't want to put the fights on. So, you know, at the end of the day, what's really holding them up is the promoters in them because they can put the goddamn fights on without the fans, but because of the money and if it's feasible or not, they don't want to. That's the thing. And then these boxers don't want to take less of enough of a cut to make it possible, because if they're still demanding the salaries that they're used to getting, then it's unfeasible. It's not feasible. The money don't make sense. And these promoters and networks are not going to put on fights and they're making less money than the goddamn boxers. That ain't going to happen, bro. I'm going to tell you that right now. It ain't going to happen.
Yeah, but have they started opening up stuff over there or not yet? Where you're at?
Not in this damn state, nigga. Ain't no venues or nothing popping.
No, not venues, but like opening up like restaurants and shit like that.
No, it's only carry out here. You still can't go sit down and sit in no restaurants. Not here. It's only carry out.
Let me tell you what.
Order through the drive-through.
Let me tell you what.
Because I know over here in Cali, certain
cities
cities are already opening up.
What you say, Mr. Two-Hand?
I said, let me tell you what these motherfuckers did in my state, bro. Basically, they said you can have up to 12 people if you want to, collect in a gathering, but you can be up to 100 people in a protest. So it was either 12 or 20 in a gathering or 100 in a protest. But my thing is, how the fuck does that make any sense? Y'all so stupid, y'all don't even realize what you're saying. So I can only chill with 10 to 20 of my friends and my closest friends and family members, but I can chill with 100 strange protesters that got carrying God knows what. It's just craziness.
And I've seen those protests. My daughter was in one of them. Ain't no goddamn social distancing happening at those protests. I'm right next to each other, dog.
Yeah, I think it goes by city too, no? By city? It's by city also, right? Like it depends what the city wants.
No, state and federal ordinance.
Because I know, like in San Diego, there's some restaurants that are opening up over there and sitting down.
Yeah, well, California, New York, and Texas do their own damn thing. They like little countries in this country.
Yeah.
For real, bro. Like New York, Texas, and California, they be doing all kind of shit. They always leading the charge and changing laws that contradict federal laws. Who was the first to lead the charge in changing the weed law? And it contradicted federal laws. Remember the Mendocino County documentary? If none of y'all seen that, go check it out. When California first changed the laws on the marijuana, and this is Mendocino County. If y'all don't know about it, go check this documentary out. When Raider, you might know, when they first changed the laws, man, the feds was all in California, all in the woods, burning down goddamn groves and all kind of shit, because it was basically like the feds against the state. You see what I mean? But then once that broke up, then now the feds starting to come around because the economy is just shit, and they want that. They see how California done blew up. And their economy is good. Oh, let's allow weed now. Maybe we can.
Yeah, it's like the state allows them to open up like those weed shops, and then the feds come and they raid them.
Right. Right. It was that constant battle.
Happened to me. Both the feds and the locals.
Right.
Do you talking about the marijuana tax laws?
Well,
no, that's what's truncating my business right now. But even before then.
1937 was when it was like officially outlawed, and you had to apply for a bullshit like certificate or some shit to have it, and they didn't make enough certificates available. Like it was all against hemp because this motherfucker owned the paper mill, and he wanted the norm to be paper. Like everything was about to go to hemp, or everything was being used as hemp. It's all bullshit.
It was textiles in general. That was the rise of nylon and synthetic, just synthetic textiles.
There you go.
But guys, y'all think about this too, and just on the weed thing, and I'm gonna get off the weed thing, but there's also, we gotta remember the agendas, bro, behind certain things. It's an agenda. If the feds just automatically say, okay, well, we'll go along with the states, then they can't lock people up and get money off of it. You know what I'm saying? So it's still a money racket, bro. It's all a money racket. It always comes down to the finances, bro. Because listen, if you got state to state to state, they said, okay, we're allowing weed. We're allowing it now. So each individual state, their economies are growing. So federally wise, the economy's growing. Well, the Fed's like, well, we can get some extra money. Since they already cured that problem and they're bringing up the economies, we're going to still charge these motherfuckers so we can make money off the economy's growing and we can make money locking these motherfuckers up. It's a racket.
Yeah, and the thing is that why the fuck is weed illegal? That shit don't even kill anybody. But cigarettes kill like tens of thousands of people a fucking year, and that's illegal.
Never,
capitalism,
never.
capitalism, and systematic oppression go hand in hand.
Yeah, you guys are pointing out, one of the many instances about a reality that's always been about what America is, and that is it's a corporation.
Yeah.
Even our Constitution, right? Our Constitution has a Bill of Rights, right? There's 10 amendments. Everything else is about commerce. Like that is like really they gave the public 10 things to talk about when it comes to how we treat each other, and then everything else is about who gets paid and under what circumstance.
That's a fact, bro. Listen, everybody who has a fucking social security card, you are a
I was just about to say that.
You are a corporate entity. Y'all better do y'all research. I ain't making this shit up, bro. And what Smoke was saying is exactly right. If you have a social security card, if you don't know it or not, you are a fucking corporate entity. Each individual social security number.
Because a social security card, I mean, because you want to know what, like I said, man, it all goes back to a certain group of individuals that sat in the room and they came up deciding the fate of the world. And look, it all boils down to this. A social security card is the number one form of letting you know that we are paying on the debts of these these capitalist 1% bastards. Look, man, capitalism and systematic oppression run hand in hand, and us being broken, you know what I'm saying, complaining about all of the bullshit and voting for fairy tales falls in the middle.
Hey, Luis Puente said, he said, D. Jefferson for 2020. Yo, Luis, let me tell you something. It would never happen.
I would vote for you,
black ass, because I give away too much of the truth, dog.
Bro, I would rather have you, Smoke, or anybody on this panel fucking running the fucking White House or grab a local fucking bum from my corner bodega than these fucking jerk offs they got up here. I swear to God, the right is fucking tripping right now.
It would never work for me because they'll take me out of there. They'll be like, oh hell no, I'll be worse than Trump.
Yeah. So for me, like straight up in cannabis in California, like it went straight, part of the brain trust to work out the language to put the first medical cannabis laws on the books for voter approval, right? We did it through a citizen initiative, right? It's just straight local voting. It went from that to adult use, which got co-opted by a billionaire, right? And that's the second way. It was still through citizen voting, right? It was still a voter initiative, but this time the language was crafted with really the money of one guy. Then after the law passed, I was sat in on the wrangling in between the committees in the state government, and all of the different entities that have a say in the state put their own little spin on it. And by the end of it, by the time regulations actually were enacted, you had a 30% tax in some places. Like the tax went from 22 to 30%. Cops, growers, like every kind of special interest in California had a say in how this bill, like how the law actually got, how the regulations actually wound up shaking out.
Yeah. Prime Fighting Champion said alcohol is the gateway, not weed. Yeah, hell yeah. And I just responded to you, Prime Fighting Champion, with this. Facts, Prime Fighting Champion. Drinks, alcohol, cigarettes, and over-the-counter drugs. Those are the gateway. Ain't no fucking weed. What the hell people think that they making that goddamn lean and syrup off of? That's Benadryl. Shit you can buy right out the goddamn store.
That shit got that perk in it.
Motherfuckers in the wars. I have half my family military. That's why I was over in Europe for 3 years. They drinking fucking NyQuil, getting drunk off that shit, bro. And this is all stuff that you can buy as legal and everything. But then they want to say weed is the game. What about the goddamn cigarettes?
Hey D, hold that thought. Hey D, hold that thought. What you talking about? This activist?
Yeah.
Talking about this activist? Hold up.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Another thing that trips me out too, like all these signs that say, this has chemicals and shit. Like this is known to have chemicals in the state of California, whatever, to cause cancer. I was like, what the fuck? And everybody just walks like nothing, you know? Yeah. Like all these products, every building you go into, it says this place contains stuff with chemicals that are known to cause cancer. And nobody cares. Everybody just keeps on walking and do whatever they do, you know?
Yeah.
Don't you guys trip out on that shit?
Yeah, I trip up. Pelly Grosso said, look at the next time you sign your name on a legal document that has your full name in capitalized letters. That means you are XYZ Incorporated. That is a fact, bro. That's a fact. It's the reason that they use capital letters. Y'all that don't know, that think we talking crazy, please go do your research on this, because those are all facts. But hey, man, everybody give me some closing thoughts. We going on 4 hours, man. I got to get me something to eat. I'm hungry in my son, bitch.
All right. I'll start it off since I'm the tying thing, and I'd like to say that I definitely am not picking Abe Lincoln in that fight. And then also, yeah, everybody like educate yourself about where you live and get involved. Can't wait for boxing to come back. UFC is cool, but stop it.
Yeah, UFC got a lot of work. They got work to do. Lot of work.
Yeah. Peace to the panel. Peace.
Go ahead, Smoke. Go ahead.
All right, Smoke.
Jay Blues, give me some closing thoughts, fam. Get ready to get out of here. You there, Jay?
Talking with my shit on mute. I think just one last thing about the way they used to, like, the presentation of boxing is gone, man. The music, son. Like, HBO even carried it to the Klitschko era. The dun 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 dun, like the royal fucking horns and shit. Like, all that faded away, and it's just normal as fuck, man. It used to be like a fucking movie coming on. It used to have such a grand presentation. Just even without that, though, with regular boxing Tuesday and Saturdays, it'll bring it back in a big way. But
you know what, guys? Boxing Monster just said D dying for some kale right now, right? And I just forgot that I was on the green screen. So I tried to flash a big piece of kale. And that motherfucker's goddamn near transparent. But this is kale in my hand. You damn right I'm ready for some kale, Boxing Monster. You know that's what I do. Kale, carrots, greens, whatever. I ain't gonna eat none of that damn chicken you be eating, though. Raider, give me some closing thoughts, fam.
No, man, thanks for having me on. Fuck, man, I just want some boxing, some good fights, you know? Like, we need that shit back. But yeah, man, hopefully all this pandemic thing goes away soon as possible, so we can get fans back in, get everything back to normal, you know what I mean? But yeah, man, thanks for having me on. Thanks for everybody on the panel. Catch you guys on the next one. All right, late.
Cool.
Nah,
Before you
I
go,
just want to say this. Oh, go ahead.
Before you go, I'm gonna change this up a little bit because I want you to end the show off with your statement. So I'm gonna give my closing thoughts. Mr. Two Hands gonna close us out. I'm gonna say this, guys. The state of boxing is, in my opinion, in limbo right now. We can shoot right back to the top, or we can scrape the bottom of the barrel. It all depends on what these promoters and boxers work out, bro. That's how I look at boxing. I'm optimistic, and I'm like Mr. Two Hands. Our sport ain't going nowhere. So I'm going to let Mr. Two Hands take us out. Go ahead, Mr. Two Hands. Give me some closing
Man,
thoughts.
as always, man, always appreciate my brother D, man, you know, bringing us, you know what I'm saying, that real motherfucking boxing talk, you know. And look, no matter even if I say boxing as a state of emergency, boxing is in a great place. Once again, as I just mentioned, a prospect. We just got to keep elevating the sport. And, you know, we have social media now, so we must use our voices and, you know, make our presence felt, because as the fans, we matter. And once we start getting disgruntled, everything gets fucked up. So we need to be more vocal about the things we don't like, you know, and appreciate the things that, you know, even if we might feel some type of way about a matchup or whatever, embrace that shit, talk about it, because then maybe, you know, it might usher in something different. And it's just, and as far as politics and life, bro, I'm going to just say this. Your thinking should always be reversed. Because when you're little, as a child, they tell you shouldn't talk to strangers, but they send you to school to get taught by strangers. So let that shit sink in. And yeah, man, as always, man, it just costs you nothing to pay a nigga no mind. Salute, man. Then you already know.
Peace.
That's